way. I swear my lights got brighter. I don't know what I did to them, but they seem like they're like infinitely brighter than they were before. I don't think I was maxing them out before. These are like nuts bright. Okay. All right. I think we're live. Hello.
Oh, are we? Uh-oh.
Yeah, we're live.
We're YouTube.
Live. Let me go to the YouTubes.
There we go.
I'm sure everybody by now is like, hey, they're not streaming today.
They're gone.
I don't blame them.
Everybody's left.
My schedule is so messed up right now, dude. So messed up. All right. So now I'm logged into the proper account. I wasn't even logged into the proper account. I'm like, why don't I see the stream?
Gee,
oh my God. Losing my edge, man. Losing my edge.
Jotaji, Yorkshire, Neekly, what up?
What up? What up, my dogs? I mean that in the most nicest way possible. Okay, so how do I get into my dashboard again? I always forget. I got to push the little nerds. Okay, let me see. Okay, I think I found the dashboard. Yay, I found the dashboard. I'll put that over on the screen so I can see it. And then I can move the chats where I can see it pop out. Oh, I feel like the dashboard got a little bit of a makeover recently.
Oh my goodness.
All right. I know I'm a yawn factory too. I only slept 3 hours last night, but for me that's a lot. Oof. Usually before I tech talk. Post the stream on BlueSky. That's a good idea actually.
Thanks,
Yo, Blue
channel.
Yeah.
Blue Varro tipped $10 live.
Yeah, get some.
The Car Wash Channel of Northern PA
nice.
in Ohio tipped $5.
Hey, bro's
hey,
back. Bro's back.
What up? What
Remember
up?
Car Wash Guy?
Yeah, man.
So check this out. Car Wash Guy. I'm gonna refer to him as Car Wash Guy, so I don't have to say the Car Wash Channel of Northern PA in Ohio. So I
think his name was Josh. If I remember right.
Yeah,
I think.
No,
don't quote me on that.
I'm pretty sure it is. I could because he just messaged me this morning and I messaged him back. So let me go to hold on. Let me go to bsky.app. That's the BlueSky website. Let me go there. Where everybody's moving. Oh no, yeah, Joshua Lindsay. It's Josh. So Joshua Lindsay. He said, awesome, I'll see you there. Well, there he is. He just messaged me back and said that.
Cool, man.
So check this out. So he messaged me out of the blue and said, just wanted to share with you that in the last 48 hours, by following the tips that you gave me on the live stream, I gained 525 years of views in the last 48 hours.
What?
So you know the dashboard can show you
watch time?
How many watch time in hours?
Yeah.
525 years in watch time in the last 48 hours. And he also confirmed earlier, he said after following our tips, he can now open an incognito window and find some of the videos that he changed the information on where he couldn't find them before. So
nice.
So yeah,
that's awesome.
He's super happy, he's super thrilled. I feel so good that we helped somebody. It feels so good.
Yeah.
I feel like I hope that he just takes that and runs with it and just like
so cool.
makes $10 million and then doesn't forget us.
Serious business.
Yeah, serious business.
Really. That's gonna be so cool.
So since we're on the topic of BlueSky, since it is a topic right now.
Oh yeah.
The blue so guys, I am now going to try to be more active on BlueSky than I am on X or Twitter. So if you don't know what BlueSky is, it's bsky.app or BlueSky app on your phone. It's basically like an open source social media site where you can even host. If you want to host the entire social media site on your own computer, you can.
It's like federalized or whatever, right? It's
distributed.
It's kind of like Mastodon in that way. But it's better.
It's
It is
similar,
way simpler. You just make a fucking account and you're golden. And
it's literally just like you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of what Twitter was back in the day. All of the features, the look of it, the feel of it, the feeds, everything about it reminds me of old school Twitter. So
honestly, you're not wrong. I'm looking at it. I have an account and I have written stuff, but I haven't really done a whole lot there. Yeah, you're not wrong. Just like the sidebar with the home and search and the bell and stuff and the feed. I have to say, at least when it comes to the mobile experience, I appreciate that Threads has put the like button on the left hand side, and the comment or the reply, like they're swapped. Because I'm a left hand holder.
Bro, I didn't even notice that until you pointed that out. But yeah, you're right.
And I like that. I don't know. To me, it's a better. It feels just a little bit better. But I think that there might be probably some UX like purposeful decision making there where like they're trying to encourage more of a comment or a reply by having it on the left versus the right. And
So Pirate Software just posted too. We love that guy. Still trying to get him to follow me over on BlueSky though. He hasn't yet. I'm finally here. Follow me back. Come on. I'm trying to get Pirate Software to follow me. I thought did he follow me on X even? Maybe I'm mistaken. I thought he followed me, but I might just follow him. Let me see. Nope, he follows me. He follows me on X. So I just got to get him to follow me now. Yeah, anyway, so BlueSky. Back to BlueSky. Sorry, I'm chasing squirrels hard. So BlueSky, social media network, competition to basically X, right?
Yeah.
And it looks a lot like Twitter. It feels a lot like Twitter, except for the aforementioned problem with the like and comment being swapped around. However, I could make an argument for this also being a good configuration because you want to encourage people to comment. And if comment is like the first option, read right to left, that actually does kind of make sense.
Yeah.
But one things I like about BlueSky that I really like about BlueSky that I now hate about X, right? BlueSky actually lets you see posts from the people you follow. X has completely screwed that up. X's default feed is for you. For you does not include all the posts from the people you follow. It includes a mix of people that you follow and a mix of Elon Musk's like cherry pick posts that he wants you to see. I don't like that. I don't like being forced to see something that somebody else wants me to see while they hide the shit I actually want to see. So I like the fact that on BlueSky, just like with Twitter back in the day, you can pick the feed that's just, I want to see everything in chronological order from the people I follow. That's simple, right? I love it. I absolutely love it. And that's the default feed. Whereas that used to be that way on Twitter, but now the default feed on Twitter is for you, which is the bastardized feed that does all the algorithmic shit that gives Elon what he wants. So that I don't like about X anymore because, and just to give you an idea, I only have 1,000 followers. I think it's like 1,100 followers on BlueSky so far. I have 102,000 followers on X. I get more engagement as of yesterday on like more engagement overall, likes, replies, everything. I get more engagement and impressions over on BlueSky with 1,000 people than I do with 102,000 on X. That's how suppressed I am on X right now. Good. And I pay for premium. So I'm on X. I give Elon his share. And I'm still just, most of my people can't see me. I still get emails all the time from people like, where you go, bro? I haven't seen you post on X in forever. I'm like, click on my profile every day, 100 times a day. It's I literally have an addiction, bro. Like, how the hell are you not seeing this shit, right? Oh, hold on. I think my camera's about to die. I think I came unplugged. Hold on.
Uh-oh. I don't know. Looks okay to me.
It says the battery's almost dead on the screen.
Oh, battery?
Yeah, I think I got a battery in it, bro. How did I have this plugged in?
What kind of goob it just battery power?
Right? I'm trying to figure out how the hell this was ever plugged in. Did I have this up on the... I've got a conundrum here. Uh-oh. I think I solved it. Hold on.
Facebook, man, I don't fuck with Facebook at all.
Honestly, Facebook is pretty much dead to me.
Except for like I'm in some buy sell groups and stuff and like the marketplace. That's it. That's basically all I deal with on Facebook.
All right, is she charging? Yay! Okay, it's charging. Yeah, dude, I dodged that bullet. It said battery's dead and it was flashing on the screen. Good thing I actually had a battery in there. I told you earlier I didn't, but apparently I do. Sorry, I about tripped and busted my face. So yeah, anyways, where were we at on BlueSky? Sorry,
it's good. Go to it.
BlueSky's good. Go to it. I'm starting to move away from X.
Yeah.
I'm going to my goal is to eventually get to the point where X is just my repost site. Where basically everything I post on BlueSky just gets proxied over and pasted on X.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
The other thing I like about BlueSky that I absolutely detest about X now is if you've ever noticed, and most people haven't even noticed this is how sleazeball this is. Elon made it to where only people that pay him, only people with premium, that little fake check mark that says that they're validated even though they're not, that little check mark that you pay for over on X, put your comment above everybody else's comment, no matter what sorting you use.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
So you go, and you can prove, go to X, click on any post, and then look at the comments under it. Just you go to any, it doesn't matter what post it is, find a post that has some comments, click on it, and the thing you'll notice is the comments at the very top all are premium accounts. There's not a single non-premium account to be seen.
Or the block thing too. Like, the way block works is changing. Like, you can still, if you block somebody, like they can still see your shit. They just can't engage with it. And it's like, what's the point? Like, and then I love that Twitch actually has implemented a thing where if you block somebody, they can't, like your stream is black. Like they can't see as long as they're logged in, of course. It's not like an IP ban or anything, but like I'm like, that's good. That should have been fucking years ago. That should have been that way.
Yep.
Yeah.
So check this out. So now you got premium comments. So if you have a premium account, your comment matters more than anybody else's. So if you make a post and I follow you and I reply to your post and I don't have premium, and then 50 other people reply after me, I'm 51 down at the bottom. I get pushed all the way to the bottom. And the algorithm only allows you to download, I think it's like 500 comments or something per post before it'll stop updating. So that's why if you go to any of Elon's posts, you'll never see a non-premium account comment on anything Elon has ever posted, because there's so many premiums following him. Correct, because the people that pay him probably are people that support him mostly. I'm an outsider, right? Yeah. So, and that's by design. That's why he did it that way, and he made sure that those comments went to the top, is he wanted to make sure, listen, if people that pay me are the only people that can be seen, then it's going to look like most people are positive towards me on the platform, which isn't the case. Most people are actually horribly negative towards him. It's just he does a good job of hiding it. Yeah. So premiums go to the top, no matter what you do, even if you sort by chronological order, which is hugely misleading. So you can actually go in. He just recently added that. You couldn't even do that before. Now you can go in and say, I want to see the newest comments first. You won't see the newest comments. You'll see the newest premium comments first. And then if you can scroll down far enough and start seeing the non-premium accounts, then you'll see those ones in a separate chronological order, even though it doesn't give you any indication of that on the screen. That's why most people haven't noticed. Everybody just thinks, oh man, everybody's premium now. Why is everybody on the platform premium? They're not. It's just he pushes everybody to the top to give that illusion. So that's another thing that manipulates people, right? The community notes bullshit, where the community can correct stuff. That gives people the false impression that if you don't see a community note on something, it must be true. But the problem is Elon disabled community notes 6 months ago on his own account, and disabled it on Donald Trump and about 36 other accounts that are all fucking crazy people. So it's total bullshit. So I'm moving over to BlueSky. I'm going to, like I said, I'll keep posting on X. I'll engage on X, but I'm going to try to do most of my stuff on BlueSky now, because BlueSky is what Twitter used to be. Same thing with API. Did you know BlueSky has a full API, REST API, that anybody can access and use? Half of the stuff, that as long as it doesn't require authentication, you can just write code directly to it. Like if you just want to look at tweets or read tweets or pull data from tweets, or I shouldn't say tweets, like posts, right? BlueSky posts. The API lets you do that. You don't even need to authenticate. It's only when you need to post and do shit like that you need to authenticate to call some of those APIs. The other thing is on X, you can't see a post unless you're logged in. You have to actually be logged into X to see a post. I think Elon changed that to where now you can see the first post, but you can't see the comments or you can't see replies or some shit. Actually, let me open an incognito and see, because I know he did change something with that recently because enough people were complaining, but let me double check. So I'm going to go to x.com/Barnacules.
The car wash channel of Northern PA and Ohio
tipped
$5.
Thank you, bro.
Should I stop using X?
Should I stop using X? Do you see any good in me keeping X? I mean, it's another channel. I wouldn't put a lot of effort into it.
If you're already established there, I wouldn't say remove it or stop using it. I'd just say not make it your primary.
Yeah. Dude, even from a work, my work standpoint, it's a deprecated platform for me personally. I don't even have, I think I still have the Twitter app installed and stuff, but it's just deprecated is the best way to put it. It's not an important platform, really.
Can I ask you guys in chat to do me a favor? I want you to go, don't log in. Open an incognito window, just in case you have an X account. Open an incognito window, because I don't want you to be logged in. I want you to go to my profile on X and look at my last posts. The only post you can see without being logged in is my last pinned post, which is my current post, right? But under it, the next newest post is 2017, followed by a post from 2021, followed from a really old post from 2023. There's no chronological order to it, and it's not showing my latest posts. Are you guys seeing that? This is weird. I've never logged into my account before without actually being logged in. Like going to the page without being logged in. It's showing the wrong posts, and let me go into replies and see. Nope. And if I click on the replies feed, it says don't miss what's happening. You must log in to see the replies feed. So all you can see is a bunch of really old posts. So if anybody clicks on your profile and they don't log into X, they're going to think you haven't posted in years, or that your posts are really in a weird order. Yeah. And the one thing I do notice is all the posts where I talk about Elon Musk are all missing when I scroll down. It's almost like he's going through and filtering the shit out. Oh wait, I did find one from April 11th. Elon Musk had to admit to using burner accounts. Oh yeah, the Musk and the Baby Smurf 9000 when he was pretending to be his own toddler and pretending to be Grimes as X. Yeah, so this is weird. This is not my feed. So he's misrepresenting my feed if you're not logged in. But at BlueSky, you don't have to be logged in to see stuff. BlueSky, anybody can write their own app too, because the API is completely free. So check this out. I tried to use the API on X the other day, right? I was like, oh, I'll try to use Twitter API. I haven't used Twitter API in forever. The only thing I can do with the Twitter API is 3 times in 15 minutes. So every 15 minutes, only 3 times can I query to get the ID of a username. That's it. That's the only API that's like free, and I can only do it 3 times every 15 minutes, and then it times out and says I've exceeded the limit. If I pay $100 a month, that's the next cheapest plan, right? $100 a month, then I get very limited access to the rest of the API, but again, very rate limited. I can only do like a few hundred things a day max. To get any kind of functionality that's even close to what BlueSky gives you, have to pay $5,000 a month. So it goes free plan that you can do nothing, to $100 plan that's only good enough for testing. Like it would never be good for any kind of tool or bot or app, right? All the way then it jumps to 5,000. There's nothing in between. So BlueSky completely free for the API. X, you get access to one API to pull a user ID for free that you can only call 3 times every 15 minutes. That's absolutely useless, and nothing else unless you pay $100 minimum. So, and before people are like, oh, most people won't use the API. Most people might not use the API directly, but they're most certainly going to use the API through third-party apps. So if you have an app and you want to include support for a social media network, you use their API. That's why some sites you can say, oh, log in using my Facebook information or log in using my Google information. Or you go to a site and it's like, oh, I want to link to my social media. Those things use APIs. So if the person who's implementing that feature doesn't pay that $5,000 a month to old Elon, then they can't offer that feature, and therefore you can't use it, right? Yeah. So Elon is just like monetized the shit out of X to the point where it's like, it's just garbage. It's absolutely garbage. So now that I've noticed that with 102,000 followers on X, I'm getting less engagement than 1,100 people on BlueSky, I'm going to focus on BlueSky. And the biggest reason for that too is that Elon Musk doesn't control it. Because Elon Musk absolutely controls X unilaterally. Like, if you don't know this, he took the company private.
So whack.
He controls it completely. There's no board of directors, right? He has no board of directors. The CEO that was named just echoes him. If you look at her feed, it's literally just retweets from him.
It's somebody to blame when it's going to fall apart.
Never had an independent thought in her life, the Linda lady. So Elon just, whatever he wants to do when he comes into work in the day, just the company just stands the attention and does. There is no logic, rhyme, or reason. There's no pleasing investors. There's no following SEC oversight. Actually, for private companies, there's very little SEC oversight because you're not publicly traded, right? When you're publicly traded like Twitter was, then you have to uphold and be transparent. Like, you have to uphold your rules and be transparent. You don't have to do either of those things. So that's why he said he was going to keep it public, and he took it private anyways, right? BlueSky resolves all of that. So, and the one thing I noticed, I logged into BlueSky a year ago, and I pretty much abandoned it about a week after I started using it because there just wasn't enough people there. I can tell you right now, there has been a mass exodus from X because now I go there and it's super active.
Well, and Threads too. They've been fucking up their moderation really bad the last like 2 or 3 months. Like they say that it's not AI. Like they're not doing algorithmic moderation, but
whatever they are.
It 100% is. And it wasn't until like a couple big journalists they call it zucked. That the guy who's supposed to be like the boss of like Instagram and Threads, this guy Mosery, it like has even said anything, but it was like a month ago that he's like, oh, we're looking into it. And a bunch of people got their stuff like manually reviewed. And it's just bad. Like, and it took a fast swing. Like, I really enjoyed Threads quite a lot until it was the last like maybe month and a half where moderation's been out of whack. Just and like people get in there. It's so weird. There'll be like straight up blatant harassment style comments and stuff, like really bad stuff that will get reported. And then the thing comes back and it's like, oh no, this is like, we've determined that this is okay. And then people will be like, oh, like, you dumbass, you bonked your toe on the fucking coffee table, and they'll get like banned. Or they'll get like timed out for a month or something.
Where it doesn't make sense if a human was looking at that, they would completely understand. Yeah,
that's a big one. Is like, it's very clear that it's been an AI thing because some of it will be like just sarcastic responses that are very clearly, very obviously not even, you don't even really need context. You can just see the one comment and you can know that this person is just like joking back to somebody, and they'll have had their comment removed or like their account suppressed and stuff like that. It's just,
you know, where else that happens like a lot that made me leave the platform pretty much? TikTok.
TikTok's getting a little weird too.
So much goddamn content for like stupidest reasons that make no sense. I feel like
TikTok is a lot like Twitch in that, where like if you can get a bunch of people to report something really fast, like if you can just gang up on a video or an account and have a big wave of reports, then it like overwhelms the algorithm or whatever, and
the humans entirely.
And it'll block you, and then you have to go through 3 weeks of bullshit to get somebody to pay attention and actually like review your stuff. And that's a hard one. It's really hard.
That's why I'll never trust a closed source platform. I'm done trusting closed source social media platforms.
Yeah, I wonder if there's some way to like democratize it. You know what I mean? Like you log into BlueSky, and there's like a separate little tab of like, hey, is this comment worth blocking? Like you can choose, like there's like a, I don't know, like I said, like democratize some of the moderation in a way where like you can opt in to be a sort of like community moderator to help like guide. Cause like I do think, honestly, I think this is a place where
there are platforms that did that, by the way. Like
some people are saying Fediverse does that and stuff. Because like this is something where you could train an LLM to do very good at recognizing these patterns and things if you have enough human verified data, right? And so get the people involved in it. Like, is this comment worth blocking or being removed? And please explain why. A little bit, you know, or try and maybe give some options as to why, and then it can help to feed and train or at least help train some of the bots, because it's overwhelming. There's no way you can have every single thing be human verified.
Right,
it's
that
impossible.
Wouldn't make any sense. Right,
you cannot. Right. There's just too much content. There's not enough human beings. 100%. And I mean, just look at YouTube on their own. Like they burn people out with the stuff that they have to, and that's like a lot of that is human verified. You have to watch some of these videos, and holy cow, can you imagine the mental fortitude it would take to people probably uploading all kinds of horrendous stuff to YouTube.
They actually offer psychological support.
Dude, it's probably not enough.
Yeah, you literally have an on staff. If you work at a company where you do moderation,
oh man,
you have on-staff psychologists. This is way back too. Even when I worked at Microsoft, the people that handled the reports that came in from Bing when people reported links that shouldn't be there, like in the search engine.
Yeah.
Because remember, they just crawl everything. They crawl the entire internet, you know, like IP address by IP address. And so they'd obviously run across bad stuff. People would report it. And so they had a room where these people reported the stuff. They had a Faraday cage. They weren't allowed to take their phones in there, so they couldn't take pictures of the screen or anything that they found on there. They were reporting and removing. And they had a psychiatrist, like a psychiatrist on staff that was there, literally in the room with them, that they could go and sit down and talk to at any time during their shift. And because people would just see shit that would just completely just break them down into tears, and they'd start shaking because they just see shit that they could never unsee. And the therapist would be there to like help walk them through it. You know, hey, breathe. This, you know, this is, you know, how to best get through this. You know, it's like, that's wild, man. If you have a job where it's like, shit like that's got to happen. Oh my God. Right. Like, sign me out. I don't want anything to do with that. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find my activity feed. Where the hell did that go? Let me go pull that up here again. I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody. But yeah, I'm done, dude. I am done trusting closed source platforms. Not Facebook, not Threads.
Yeah.
Like Mastodon, sure. But Mastodon, the problem is Mastodon really is not getting the support because I don't think it's simple enough.
Yeah.
Like BlueSky is dead simple. Weird. BlueSky is dead simple.
I didn't have to join a server. I didn't have to, or at least not that I'm aware of. I created this account a while ago, so I don't know. Maybe I did. But like, it's easy. And that is the number one thing to make a platform grow is how easy is it to get people on.
I agree. Somebody even said that there was a plugin. I haven't looked yet because I haven't had time. While sitting on the shitter this morning, somebody messaged me on BlueSky and said there's a plugin for the browser that will go to Twitter or go to X, look through all your following and followers, and then try to find the BlueSky accounts that because they'll basically, I think it like goes through the bios and like looks for links and stuff between them, and it'll like find their accounts and then allow you to automatically follow them.
There you go.
I haven't done that yet, but I really want to do that if that's possible, because like anything that can allow me to follow the most people and get the most people to follow me back on another platform, that's going to increase the engagement, which is going to keep me there and make, it's going to be more active. And I already feel like at 1,100 followers, I already have so many people posting and responding to me that at any point throughout the day, there's somebody to respond to. And that's how I like it. I like when I open the app and it's like, there's, there's nothing new. No, I always want to see something new when I open it up. So that keeps me engaged. And that's why I've been pretty engaged and posting every day on BlueSky since I joined there. The other thing I like about BlueSky is they let you use your domain as your verification. So like, for instance, my name on BlueSky is Barnacules.nerdgasm.com. Like you can use your friendly name, just like on X, you have a friendly name and you have an account name, right? So my friendly name is Barnacules. My account name is Barnacules.nerdgasm.com. That is actually my account name on BlueSky. Like if you look me up in the URL, it's /profile/Barnacules.nerdgasm.com. For other people, it's their name.bsky.social. That's what their name is on the platform. But if you have a domain, all you do is you grab this little text record. You say, hey, I want to use my domain name as my handle. And then you copy that. You put it into your DNS record on GoDaddy or Register or wherever you have your domain, right? And then it verifies it. And when it sees that, and then it says, oh, we know you own this domain now. And then it lets you use that name. And by doing that, it's like having verification. So if you go to my BlueSky account right now, you'll see that my name, like my actual handle on the platform under my name, my profile is BarnaculesNerdgasm.com, not just a link to a website like it is over on X. It's my actual name and how you reference me on the platform, which I think is pretty damn cool, actually, because for brands, that's amazing. Like if you're Pepsi or Coca-Cola or something, you don't have to like go and look and be like, oh, what's their handle? Are they real Coca-Cola or Coca-Cola 69 or what the hell is their account? You just go, oh, Coca-Cola.com is their website. So you go to BlueSky, you say, look up Coca-Cola.com. And it's like, boom, there is the official account that is of somebody that owns that domain. So we know that that's the real deal. And I really like that. I think that's cool. YouTube is considered social media.
Oh, because he was asking like, well, how do you think about YouTube then? Are they considered a closed platform? Because YouTube's considered social media. I'm with you because you're a little hesitant about agreeing with whether YouTube is a social media.
I think it's a content platform first.
It's very, very fringe social media because there is a bit of interaction, right, with the comments, and things like that. And like, if we're gonna say like TikTok is a social media site, then you're gonna have to kind of accept that YouTube is as well. But I feel like there's less of the social aspect to YouTube.
I don't consider TikTok social media, by the way. I consider them a content site also, just like Instagram.
Yeah, I kind of agree too, because there's less. To me, it's more passive. Right? Like TikTok and YouTube in particular, because they're so video focused. I know Instagram is really, really pushing on that more, but I would say even Instagram is more social. But in a similar sense, almost on the fringes of social media, because it's less immediate, right? It's more passive. But no, technically, yes, by definition, YouTube is a social media platform. Yes. However, I would say only just in the most squeakiest technicality.
Here's the way I see it, and maybe the definition disagrees with me, but for it to be a social media site, in my opinion, conversation has to be the primary feature. Everything else has to be the secondary feature.
Right, that socializing part. Yeah,
exactly. So like YouTube, for instance, is you go there to watch a video, you go to the comments to see people talking about the video. Yeah. On social media, it's the other way around. You have a conversation, and then people attach videos to their conversation. It's a completely different relationship.
I would say Twitch is more of a social media platform than YouTube because it's live. It pushes a live interaction, and it fosters more of that socialization. Whether you're directly interacting with the streamer or just the chat, it's more immediate. It's more social. Where YouTube and TikTok are much, much more passive unless you're on the live side, like we're doing here. Obviously, this is a very social interaction. But in terms of just consuming video, that's so passive and only just barely squeaks in as a social platform.
There is a key difference in my opinion, though, and that is when you're on Twitch.
I post literally posting the link to my BlueSky to you people, and they're saying that you can't find it.
Really?
Just put an @ in front of there. Put an @ I'm literally looking at my
Here, you got to give him the full URL. You got to give him the whole URL. You got to like BlueSky apps.profile/profile/ and then I'll be Barnacules Nerdgasm.com. There you go. Everybody go follow me there.
You know what? I'm going to do something I don't normally do. You guys have figured it out. Lost in Space. Thank you. Later, Gator. Fuck you, hater.
I know it's going to motivate him.
Love that.
I know it's going to motivate him. So everybody that follows me, everybody that follows me at that BlueSky right now, while I'm live streaming right now, I'll follow you back.
I'm banned. That could be. That could be.
So I normally don't do that. I'm not going to guarantee that I stay followed forever. But if you follow me right now, click on that link and you follow me on BlueSky. Even if you create a new account, I don't care. I will follow you back right now. I'm just going to follow. I'm going to follow everybody back that follows me right now.
That's crazy. I swear I wrote that letter by letter with and without the ad. Well, the link there should bring you directly to my profile.
I didn't even click mine. Believe. I should probably click mine to make sure it actually works.
Jonathan Leibovitz. I love it. This is I eat stuff. I eat stuff too.
It works. So let me see. Okay. So, I got a bunch of, okay. They're doing it.
YouTube says, be careful. This site might be harmful. Yep. Kyle K, thank you.
DeWasta just followed.
Josh.
Mackie Wolf just followed.
Oh, yeah. Right on. Car Wash Guy. Right on.
Mr. Mario
Dylan.
2011.
Some of y'all have like your full on names in here, and I don't like spreading full real names publicly like that.
As long as they use it publicly, I don't mind saying as long as they do it publicly.
Makes me really? To me, that is the absolute weirdest fucking thing about the younger group. Like younger, I feel like, than my generation, that you all, man, it
just use their real name.
Weirdest freaking thing to me that you use your full name. Your full name. It's one thing to just be like, oh, I'm James, but like when you put your full ass name as your username on something, that is so weird to me. And like, I think that's just a holdover from early internet days of where like
it is.
You know, everybody you talk to is a creeper. Girl means guy in real life, and like all of that stuff. And
there
so
was
like
a lot of like anti-stalker laws to protect us back then. Now there is so
weird to me that like my kids, it is so freaking weird to me. And like and then combine that with the fact that you guys, this younger people, this me old man yelling at the cloud, will be like, you'll be, oh, I'm going to the movies right now. And again, your whole ass full name, where you are at school, I'm at this theater right there. Like you all,
that is bad. That's bad.
It drives me freaking nuts. And like, there's like, but at the same time, there's been like 2 billion people in the span from 1994 to like today. And so usernames are like gone. Like y'all are having to make the bunch of weird, really bad fucking usernames too. Like, a bunch of numbers and like crazy spellings and stuff.
Even if you use your real name, you still have to put 5 numbers on the end because there's like 100 of you out there already.
Exactly. So I kind of get it, but at the same time, like, geez, Louise, man, I cannot. So weird.
Hey, QA Library, there are verified accounts. So he said one thing I want or miss with BlueSky is verified accounts. No, you can, if you have a domain, if you own a domain, you can verify your account by making your domain your handle.
If I have AuxxZillary.com, which I do own that, but I don't have anything there. Like I don't have an actual, it's not attached to anything.
You don't need anything attached to it. As long as you can change the DNS for it, as long as you can go into the dashboard wherever your register is and put in a DNS record.
Okay. That's cool.
And the thing I like about that is you have to own the domain so nobody can camp your name. So if you own the domain AuxxZillary, somebody could go buy a domain called AuxxZillary too, but they could never be auxiliary dot whatever you have. Your specific one.
I need
and
to
then
check.
If you want, you can put a web page up at that domain that says, I'm the real, here's my official links, here's my official thing, so that people can verify you. And then if they click on the link, they can know you're the real person. So you control that, which is really cool. Yeah, you verify that you own the domain, which is honestly more verification than X does or Facebook does or anything like that.
Theodoros, DeWasta. Oh, you
got tons of people have followed since
everybody.
So let's see here. Some knucklehead. I just followed some knucklehead back. Oystein, I just followed you. Let's see here. Marduk. I just followed Marduk back. See, and this is what I love about this. Like, as people are following me, everything, like Cole just followed me. Everybody that's following me right now, I can see them popping up in my feed in chronological order in real time. You go over to X and it'll be like, oh, somebody followed you. And it's like somebody who followed you like 10 hours ago. Or somebody follows you and they never even show up. You don't even know they followed you because it doesn't even show up in the feed.
How can I get a domain? Is that like website hosting? Sort of. It's related. You can own a domain without actually having a website hosted anywhere.
Correct. So if you want to own a domain, just go to a register, like register.com, GoDaddy.com. Those are the ones I've used in the past. There's other ones too. Cloudflare can do it. And then you basically just pay them to register a domain. So you see if it's available. And then you pay them to register it. And then as a part of the registration process, you have to put your personal information in, which can be a P.O. box or whatever, or your address.
Yeah.
But then you can pay additional money to the register for them to use their identity as the owner. Basically, they assume ownership of the site on your behalf, and then they proxy it for you to protect your private information.
The who is information.
Yeah, who is information. But the nice thing about it is your information is still associated with it. So if somebody does have to verify you in the future, like they want to make damn sure it's you, like somebody tries to impersonate you and they get you in trouble and it goes to court, they can go and verify that you're not the owner of that domain by looking behind that wall and subpoenaing the register.
It depends on the domain. Like I own 2 or 3 like AuxxZillary.com. The way that I spell it is $12 a year.
Yep.
Because nobody wants that. But if you're trying to get like pizza.com, that's going to cost you like $200 million because Domino's owns it or whatever. Right?
That's what you're describing as domain camping. So a lot of registers will buy the domains and try to sell them back to you.
Yeah.
And so like if your domain name is something that's common or desirable, then it's going to be like, oh, this domain is already owned by somebody. Do you want to buy it for $90 billion?
Which even then, those are like, if you can find who is holding the domain, you can usually get it cheaper than that.
I do have a top tip that I want to give people though before they go and start registering domains, and this is critically important. And I don't know if you know this yet, but this is a critically important one. Whatever website you go to, you register. It doesn't matter if it's GoDaddy, it doesn't matter if it's registered. They all do this shit. Okay, every time you search for a domain name and it says it's available, and it says, "Do you want to buy it?" and you say you don't want to buy it, 10 minutes later, when you come back and put that domain back in, it's suddenly not available anymore, and they'll sell it back to you for 20 times more. Yeah. So what they do is they have a bot that, because they don't pay anything, they're the register. They can have as many domains as they want. So what they'll do is they'll just camp that shit because they saw you searching for it, so they know that it's something that you would have searched for. So then they say, oh, maybe he'll come back later, and they buy it. So don't search for domains being available through the register. Go instead and just type them in to the URL and see if there's a web page hosted there first to see if it's available, and then be committed to buying it, and then go search it and buy it. Right. Don't just search for a bunch of domains and then come back later, because, dude, most registers will just buy that shit right out from underneath you, and then you're like, God damn it, it's happened to me a million times.
It's fun too to so every country has their own like dot 2-letter abbreviation. Like you'll see a lot of websites, or like UK websites will be .co.uk, right? What's fun is you can find as an example, I think Algeria is .ai, and so you'll see a lot of people who are trying to do like AI companies or whatever. They will buy an Algerian domain, right? And so it'll be myproject.ai or whatever. So that and that's like clever branding. It has nothing to do with where your website is hosted or where it's routing. None of it. It's just every country. Oh man, we're starting to get into like the how the internet works kind of stuff. So like there are top level domains. Yeah. There are things called top level domains. It used to be just .com, .net, .org, and like that's about it. Yeah. And those actually meant something. That actually meant something. Like .org was meant to be only for top nonprofits, to nonprofit organizations. .gov, that's government, United States government websites, things like that. And as the internet grew and grew and grew, I think it's IEEE. I think IEEE is the ones who handle top level domain stuff. They had to start parsing things out, and how to Algeria is GZ. Okay, I'm not sure which one it is, but there's one of them out there that's .ai, and it's a country. Epos Vox posted about the IO country TL top level domain disappearing. So yeah, I heard about that, which is a bummer because like itch.io, and there's all kinds of good stuff out there, but it's just fun. You can dig into it. There's all kinds of top level domains now, and it's basically how they parse out the routing, the big major routing tables. I'm at the extreme edges of my knowledge at this, because it has to do with like DNS and how things are routed around the it's ICANN. Thank you.
Oh yeah,
that's right. It's ICANN. IEEE does plugs and ports and things like that.
Standards, yeah.
Yeah. and the Wi-Fi and things like that.
Yep.
So ICANN is the internet people.
Just followed Undoer back, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, and so man, it's really, really fun. And
by the way, the easiest way to follow people back is just open your followers. Did you open your followers list and just F5 it? It's in chronological order, so I was like, that's perfect. Like I just refresh it, and new people are there, and I just hit follow back.
I love that.
So like 20. It looks like about 20 people so far have followed.
I have 20
from the stream, and you guys can just create an account too. You can have another thing. You can create as many accounts as you want on the platform. They don't require you to do email verification or anything. You can create as many accounts as you want. You can associate them with the same account. So if you go under settings, it'll say like signed in as, and then other accounts. So you can like associate them, so you can quickly switch between them and everything. It's pretty damn cool.
BlueSky is a leftist circle jerk of a joke. Okay, then stay on X. I mean,
stay
whatever,
on X, dude, because X is a fucking rightist jerk ass mega fucking cult. So what's your point? It's like if you want to suck Elon Musk's dick and have him control what you can view, then stay on X. That's fine. BlueSky lets everybody see whatever the hell they want. If you go on BlueSky and you're a fucking Trump enthusiast, then you can go find other Trump enthusiasts and actually see their posts. Unlike on X, you can't do that for other people.
It'd be fun if we had tech talk, but it'd be like tech TE. Hold on, let me type it out because I can't visualize. Tech talk. Oh, it'd be .lk. So is there a .lk?
Oh, that would actually be cool. Yeah, like TECHTA and then .lk.
Yeah, there is a .lk. So it'd be
like a 3D printing nerd has 3D.pn, 3D.pn. Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that kind of thing. That'd be so much fun.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Oh, and I guess it's Sri Lanka is LK. So that's fun. But that's what I mean. So like as an example, our car wash, our car wash guy buddy, he could find, I bet you right now there is a would be CARWA.sh. Right? That could be your domain. And it's car wash. Or if you wanted to be car wash guy, you car wash g.uy. I don't Uruguay maybe or something as UI. But like you can do fun stuff with the domain ending because nobody cares anymore. It used to be that like, oh man, if you didn't have a .com, you weren't taken seriously. Or like .net was like looked down upon. Like, oh, if you're blah 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 .net, that's more of a like professional kind of, or like a business.
You're right. I haven't thought about that in years, but you're right. Like net was a second class citizen. I remember everybody tried to get .com, and if you couldn't get .com, you got .net. If you couldn't get .net, you got .org. But what they were supposed to be is they had meanings, right? Like, com was supposed to be commercial.
Yep.
Then org was organization,
was nonprofits,
and then net was network, right? Yep. And that like for like social sites and things like that. Yeah. But nobody used them that way because everybody just got used to com because most things were commercial in the beginning.
Yeah.
So everybody everything was .com, and so it was easier to remember. So everybody wanted a .com, and it just kind of like threw away the whole concept of having the things you're supposed to have. But now it's even more confusing because it's like there are a billion suffixes.
Oh yeah, it's like all kinds of. There's a bunch of different country ones. Get the whole list.
Here,
it's just top level domain list.
Here's see our top level domain list.
List of internet.
So
top level
org,
domains.
net, int, ARPA, Africa, EU, XYZ. Oh, that's pretty cool. I forgot about that one. EDU. Oh, for education, MIL military, ARPA. NYC, New York City, CAT.
Oh, there's
Catalan,
some long
TLT.
ones.
Academy,
accountants, active, actor, ads. There's adult if you wanted to sites providing sexually explicit content such as pornography. Arrow, Africa, agency.
Sites? I don't think I have a single adult site in my bookmarks.
I don't think so.
And yes, I watch porn. Sue me, okay? Porn is awesome.
Because the porn's got all the .coms. .bible, that'd be funny.
I don't believe anybody says they've never watched porn.
.bet. Oh, geez, there's a .best buy that is reserved for Best Buy. Like,
how the hell did they do that? I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could like.
That's ridiculous.
I wonder how much money that costs to make happen.
Right?
Oh, fuck, Apple has one too. There's .apple.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Reserved for Apple. Architect Army Art. Oh, did you see the link I put in chat, by the way? There's a Wikipedia article that has all the, oh, you are looking at? Okay. Yeah. .buzz. So that's a good one. .buzz.
You can find yourself a really good top level domain, and it's my stuff dot.
I like how it says what they're reserved for, but nobody's using them for what it's reserved for. It.
Nah.
Hey, I have a question for the networking guy. So networking guy in chat.
Live.
He would know this. Is there a way to not have anything? Can you just literally have a suffix that's a site? Like, is there a way to do like, I want to go to .ceo and you just own that? Like you own not even a domain .ceo. Just, is there a way to have .ceo DNS linked to something? Or does it have to be something something?
Well,
because I've never tried that, but a lot of these look like they're for single sites, like the one for Best Buy, right? Or Apple, the one that's reserved for Apple. It's like, it seems like
what happens if you put just .apple?
Oh fuck! Any business can apply for a TLD. It costs $185,000. Okay, well, we're not getting money anytime soon. Jesus Christ, man.
That's a new stream goal. We're gonna have to change the super chat goal.
Yep.
Let's get 185 so we can get tech.talk.
let me see if I can do that. Like, I changed the name of the goal. Here, let me go there and see. Let's see, goal.
Oh, there is a .talk
super chat goal. Let me see if I can rename it.
Oh, what? Okay.
Let's see your settings. Okay, so it says text, Roboto. Enable customized font. Where's the text though? It doesn't have any text. So super chat goal. I just want to change the name of it. Here, advanced Roboto custom 24 dynamic font spacing bold. That's weird. There's text and secondary text, but there's nothing written in the field. Why is there custom font family, letter stroke? Oh. This is bizarre. So wait, I can't change the text of it? Why not? No, I found it. I found it.
It looks like Amazon owns .talk, so we couldn't get tech.talk.
So TLD top level domain? Is that what okay. So raising money for TLD, 185K total. Okay, there we go. You ready? I'm gonna hit save and see what happens. It's actually up there.
Nice.
There we go. Raising money for top level domain, 185K total. Let's go, baby. Woo! Woo! Car wash. Hey, what's up, Josh? He said, I just can't believe the tips that I followed made a difference. You guys will always be special to me. And will always have my support forever. Oh my god,
and
dude.
That was simple stuff too, man. Just imagine,
simple stuff. That was gold, man. That was pure fucking gold. Nobody's ever spoke those words.
I'm just saying that's like entry level.
Yeah, there's a lot more you can
stuff,
do.
I guess.
That's the basics. There is a lot more that you can do on top of that.
Like I mean, for realsies, I see you posting shorts. Put those on TikTok. People will eat that shit up.
Yep. Actually, TikTok. Yeah, for shorts, TikTok is the place to be. I will say for monetized shorts though, YouTube pays way better.
Dude, I've seen some great stuff. Some just random people with like 1,200 followers and stuff making nothing crazy, but like $60 here and there off of just shorts. I'm like, dude, that's pretty cool. So
the thing is like when you have to make a living, it's like, oh, $40-$60 or whatever. That's nothing, right? You're not going to pay but like one bill with that. However,
that's one bill.
If you're somebody who has a job and you're making money and it's like, you want to pay a bill, you want to buy a fucking PlayStation, every couple of months or whatever, or buy a game console or a game every month.
Yeah.
It's like that shit adds up. Like that side action, that's welcome, right? It's like, I can't tell you how happy I was when I made my first $20 on YouTube. When I first got partnered, I think I was with like some ripoff MCN that was taking all my money called Full Screen or something like that.
Oh,
and, this is way back in the day when you couldn't be partnered with YouTube, right? Yeah. And so you had to sign big contracts where they take like 50 or 75% of your revenue. It was totally ripoff, right? But I remember the first time I actually like made like legitimately $20. Like I logged into the little full screen dashboard and it's like, you made $20. And I was like, this is fucking awesome. And I remember getting a check. They mailed me a check because it didn't even have direct deposit back then. So I get a check from YouTube. It wasn't even Google back then. It was from YouTube. And I wish I had taken a picture of it, of that first check where it was like $20 and I cashed it. I was like, dude, this is baller. I just made $20 on the internet by posting videos. And I was hooked.
Yeah.
I was absolutely hooked. It's like a lot of people say it's not about the money, and it may not be about the money in the beginning, but I'll tell you what, it doesn't hurt. The money absolutely doesn't hurt. And that's why a lot of people transition from hobbies into careers and social media. However, I will say that AI has changed everything, and I don't even know what to expect in the future now.
Oh, but that, I don't know. To me, that's so great. Oh shit.
There's good and bad. There's good and bad. There's good and bad with everything, right? Every automation, everything, there's good and bad. But I'm just going to say it changes everything forever, because where it used to be that there was a lot more viewers than content creators. So like the per capita, if you're a content creator, the number of people that were available eyeballs to watch your content, that's gone down dramatically with the amount of content that's being released in the wild and the amount of content that each person can create.
I mean, there are still way more consumers than creators. Like a massive amount of consumers than there are creators. Even, I mean, to like, I guess it depends where you draw the line of how much of a creator versus a consumer. Because like, there are people who post a lot, like on, Twitter or whatever, who I would still consider are more consumers. They don't have the intent right behind it. You're just posting just to post and stuff. Like you don't care if you're monetized or you're following and all that stuff. The people who are actually trying to do something with their creations and stuff that is time. Like I keep seeing stats for Twitch where like if you have 10 viewers, like regularly 10 viewers, you're in like the top 10% of Twitch streamers. Like that's amazing. And I'm that's paraphrasing. I'm not sure exactly what the proper numbers are, but just having like any viewers at all puts you already in a top or a higher tier than not, because like it's what?
No, I get
GoDaddy's
what
trying
you're
to sell tech.talk for
so this is what I was talking about earlier where they camp domains. So I went to GoDaddy. I did a search for Tech Talk because I was going to buy it if it was available, right?
Right.
So it says right now, these are premium domains. It says, sorry, Tech Talk is unavailable. It says, but for premium. So if you click on this little thing, it says premium domain names are more valuable than other domains because they're based on common words and phrases people often use in their online searches. While we do not own these domain names, we are one of a select group of registers that can introduce you to the seller. The seller is currently selling this domain for $3,299.99.
Get out.
They're totally full of shit. GoDaddy does own those. They're saying a third party does. No, they own them. They camp them.
What about talk.tech?
Tech Online, $16,000. Tech.Foundation, $249. Tech Sucks is under $1,000, $999. You know what? I honestly think they should pass a law, and I know this would like fucking blow all these domain campers like out of the water and fuck them up overnight. And they deserve it, honestly, for what they're doing. They should pass a law that says that if you own a domain, you have to put something tangible on it. So even if it's like a link to your own personal information or your business, it has to be used for something. You can't just buy a domain that serves no purpose other than to camp it and sell it to somebody else. Because that's the problem is everybody is just running bots now on these services that are just like buy 500,000, like using AI to generate every common sequence of words, camp every domain and sell it for $3,000. Now nobody can get any domain that means anything. And now it's impossible to find anybody on the internet. Like, I think that's stupid. I think at some point they need to fucking draw a line. Networking guy said, I create and build network infrastructures, but I still consume other works just like YouTubers. Oh, that's cool. Let's see here. Steve Miller, all creators are consumers. They have to be.
Well, yeah.
Yes. Talk Tech is 5,000. Damn.
Where? Oh man, I'm seeing it on only domains for 8.
For 8,000? Oh, wow. So everybody's like just putting random prices on this shit.
Would that be an FEC rule? No. So it's an international group that handles this sort of stuff. It's like UN style almost.
If these are available and they're just lying and refusing to give them to you, because why would the prices be different on two sites? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, Talk.tech has got to be available.
Hey, networking guy, can you check with Cloudflare? Because I know he has like all the Cloudflare hookups. Can you check with Cloudflare and see if Tech Talk is available or any of these other ones are available that GoDaddy's claiming are sold for thousands of dollars? Because I think they might not even own them.
There's nothing at Talk.tech. It says can't be reached. There's no domain.
No, that's
DNS probe finished NX domain. There's nothing. That's my point. Is nobody's
doing anything. Nobody's putting anything on these domains. They're just buying them and leaving them there.
Yeah. At least put a splash page of like, do you want to buy this? Like, click on this button.
A lot of them do. Oh, hey,
yeah, I've seen a lot of that. But
what's up, Adam? What's up, brother?
So Amazon runs the .tech TLD is ran by right. Yeah, Amazon owns the .talk.
Actually, Adam and I still have pay to win. so we actually,
pay2.win.
Yeah, I don't know what that one is worth. I haven't checked to like see what its like valuation is since we bought it, but I still have it. It still gets renewed every year. I should go see though, because they do get you know what it said Barnacules Nerdgasm is worth? Barnacules Nerdgasm is worth $3,200.
Fuck yeah.
I don't know what that really means. Like I guess that's what they would ask if you were selling it. I don't know how they come to that valuation. I really don't.
Who knows?
So yeah, no, we got let's see which one we got. Pay to Biz and Pay to Win. We have let's see, where is I'm trying to see like where does it say how much it's worth if I want to sell it. So manage. I'm not going to sell it. I just want to know what they say. It's trying to proposition me to make a website here. No, GoDaddy, I don't want to buy your shitty website creation. By the way, GoDaddy's like cheap website creation stuff is absolutely terrible, and it's the slowest shit ever. I've never seen stuff load slower.
Go to Squarespace at least.
Dude, it's fucking horrible. It's absolutely horrible. James Shana said, wait, pay me, I'll sell your domain for $145,868 for .beard. The country of Houston's beard.
I don't think there isn't a beard.
Yeah, in the United States, domain squatting is illegal under the anti-cyber squatting.
Yeah, but how are you?
But they're doing it, Bradley. They're doing it right now. Like GoDaddy has a list of like 1 million premium domains with nothing posted on it. That is literally cyber squatting. What would it be? So if it's illegal, it is not an enforced law.
Is there a .ry?
That's actually a big problem we have here in the United States that I don't know how the hell we're going to deal with. Is that no jurisdiction wants to take responsibility for the internet. Like anytime I've ever had a problem with somebody across state lines with like death threats and stuff like that, it's like I contact my police department, then they contact their police department. Neither side wants to take any responsibility because it's cross state lines. And then it goes to the FBI, and then the FBI, if they even bother to respond to me, is like, oh, there has to be $100,000 loss or, you know, impending doom. Like you have to be able to prove that this person like is 90% going to kill you. And it's like nobody wants to take on the case unless it meets all these like crazy criteria. So like cyber squatting, how do you report that? Oh man, somebody's parked on Tech Talk and wants to sell to me for $5,000 or whatever. That's cyber squatting. They're gonna be like, oh, that's not worth enough for our time. That's a little crime, so we're not gonna worry about it. And it's like, so that shit never gets investigated. Adam said you can legally kick them off if you own the copyright before the domain was registered. Yeah, I actually did do that with my domain. So that's why I have Barnacules Nerdgasm. Somebody did grab it before I could, and I gave him the trademark, and they booted him off and gave it to me. Yeah,
somebody was able to somehow the domain google.com was available to purchase for like 8 minutes or something. There was like a space for like a short space of time where they didn't renew their domain registration, and somebody bought it real fast and tried to like hold it for ransom, but they were forced to give it over.
I remember that exact case. That was wild.
Yeah. Or Nissan. I think it's Nissan.com. There's constantly in a fight against the car company.
There's a real guy named Nissan though, and that's why it's still in litigation.
Like a mechanic or something. He was like a legit mechanic. And if you look it up, Nissan, it's not Nissan.com. It doesn't go to the car company. It's like NissanMotors.com or something like that. Because this guy has had it from like the early days. If you punch in Nissan.com right now, it looks like a memorial now for Uzi Nissan.
That's probably the guy that owned it that's been fighting Nissan all these years.
It used to be a page talking about how he's fought with the car company for decades and stuff, and he's like, no, I've owned this forever, this is mine, and blah 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 and stuff like that. So you might have to hit Wikipedia or something for that, but he was in a constant battle back and forth with Nissan Motor Company over it. It's real funny.
Hey, Tech Chefs 420, whoop whoop! Here, I gotta give him a little love for his $2. Oh, this light is so bright. God, what did I do? This new DMX controller is like making this light so much brighter than it was before.
That's a fun one about battles over domains.
Yeah. Oh, Tesla.com was the Tesla museum. Yeah, I'm sure Elon just gave them a grip. Actually, Elon's cheap as shit. He probably fucking lowballed them through like a third party or something to buy it off him or threaten him or something. Yeah.
He
seems like a dick that would just do that, have all the money in the world and still just like fight somebody over $20. Like, did you see what he did to? This is another thing I hugely disagree with. Did you see what he did to Elon Jet, the account Elon Jet?
Oh yeah, on X forever. Man.
He literally offered him $5,000 for the account after he promised he could stay. He even said, like, when he bought X, he's like, I don't agree with what Elon Jet's doing, but I respect his right under free speech to be here. Elon Jet didn't change a single thing. Business as usual. Elon bans him like less than a month later. And the reason why he banned him is he offered him $5,000 for the account. He wanted to buy it and basically run it himself to mislead people where he actually was. And the guy was like, no, I want a Tesla. He's like, dude, you make cars. They cost next to nothing for you. Like, I just want a $50,000 Tesla. And Elon was like, nope, you're banned. He literally over a Tesla that he probably pays what, 10 grand, 15 grand to manufacture or whatever. He fucking over that money when he's the richest man in the world. He's like, no, on principle, I'm just going to ban you off the site to show how big my dick is. And he caught so much shit, and he still catches shit for it to this day. Because like, dude, you claim you're for free speech, but you banned a person off your platform. And now he's back on the platform because enough people complained, but he wouldn't let him have his original account back. And he's only allowed to post data after 24 hours. So he has to be 24 hours delayed, whereas on every other social media platform, he can post whatever. So yeah, it's like, dude is just fucking, dude, he is crazy, man. The fucker is just crazy now. Yeah, he's lost his mind, Adam. 100%. Dude, I used to worship that dude. He is such a fucking fraud.
Ketamine's a hell of a drug.
Yep, ketamine's a hell of a drug. But you know what? I don't think he went crazy. I think the ketamine literally brought out who he really is. It made it harder for him to hide the piece of shit he was. He is a piece of shit. I mean, the dude literally. Let me ask a question. This is a real question. Why the fuck does the richest guy in the world do the least philanthropy? Like, the only thing he does that's philanthropic at all is where he makes more money from doing it than he loses. Literally, the dude does not have a charitable bone in his body unless he makes more money from being charitable than he gets back when he's the richest dude in the world. It's like his money, and it's like, I understand at a point. It's like, okay, you have your money, you're breeding more money, but it's like, dude, you're the richest man in the world. Like, you could literally by yourself put a dent in world hunger. Like, that's how much fucking resources you have just sitting on a shelf doing nothing. And then the dude pulls it out to buy a social media site to rig elections and shit. Like, why is that a good use of your money, but like helping others wasn't? He's just a piece of shit, man. Adam already knows how I feel about Elon. I've already told him many times. Like, and don't get me wrong, I don't want people to confuse this. Elon is not Tesla. Elon isn't SpaceX. He's not Neuralink. Those companies have. SpaceX is a lot of really smart NASA engineers, ex-NASA engineers, right? Yeah. Tesla is fucking completely pretty much fucking run from the ground up by Franz. He's and then the other guy that created the electric drivetrain that basically is like they barely modified even to this day. They just moved an 800 volt system after everybody else in the industry had like a long time ago. So yeah, no, it's like Elon is just a spin doctor. That's all he is. He's a con man. He blows shit out of proportion. He makes false promises. He manipulates markets. He takes the money from these fucking terrible ass deals that are predicated on him following the rules, which he doesn't. And that's just he's just a fucking con man, dude. He's a fucking con man. However, I will say that I do like a lot of what SpaceX does. I do like Teslas. Like, I like the cars overall. Like, I mean, there's a reason so many people buy them. I mean, the quality control shit, but I mean, the car itself for the money is not bad. Like, honestly, there's a reason they're still selling so many goddamn many of them. I mean, the Cybertruck is a hunk of shit, but that's a project that Elon was slightly involved in, right? So I expect it to be garbage.
Like, you can tell
anything he touches is garbage. Like,
you can tell that he had a hand in that.
Yeah, like TeslaBot's TeslaBot will be the last robot to ship. It's going to be the most expensive and the last robot to ship. Like, they're the first ones announced. Oh, we got a robot. It's going to be autonomous and it can dance and it can already do this. I guarantee you they will be the last, just like with the Cybertruck and everything else. They'll be the last one to the market and the highest price proposition. It just, and if he ever does it, I doubt he will. I'm sure that the robot is just more, just like the taxi service, right? It's like, why the fuck are you trying to create a taxi they can drive around when Waymo already did it a long time ago? They're already on the market, and you can't even give Tesla Autopilot to your customers that paid like what, 10, 15, 20 grand for the feature like 5 years ago that you promised would be 100% ready and drive them from like a garage in LA all the way to New York without ever touching anything but at the superchargers. Not even close, bro. You're not even in the fucking ballpark. It just drives me nuts that all he cares about is just getting more hype. That's it. Everything is just get more hype, get more hype. Doesn't matter if you can actually do it. Doesn't matter if it's even an achievable goal. Just lie and say that we already have it so that hopefully our competition will just give up or not even try. And then the competition will come in. They'll beat them to market, but they still get all the money because they manipulated the market early on. Yeah. It's like, oh, it just drives me nuts. Anyways, fuck Elon, but I do like SpaceX. I do like SpaceX. I will say credit where credit's due. Catching that rocket was pretty gnarly. Like, that was cool.
Pretty cool, yeah.
That was pretty fucking cool. Like, and I'm sure a fuckload of engineering went into catching that thing. But Elon, his contribution to Starship is make the nose less aerodynamic so it burns more fuel so that it looks more like Futurama. That's like literally his claim to fame. He's like, oh yeah, I told him to make the tip less aerodynamic because it was funny. Like, yeah, cool beans, man. Brag about that some more. Yeah. Tell us how you're making your shit less efficient on purpose just because it's funny and it makes you giggle. God damn, dude. Anyways, that literally is a true story. Never guy said, if I ever own an electric car, I want an option of in-car highway lobby chat. Dude, you know how bad that would contribute to road rage? Could you imagine, like, if everybody in traffic could talk to each other through text messages?
Man,
be like, hey, Beamer, fuck you. Hey, Subaru, fuck you. I'll kill you.
I wish I could type in a freaking license plate and send a message to somebody. Man,
Bro,
that would be
get out of hand. It would get fucking out of hand.
I would take the repercussions of that. There are so many times where it's like, bro, just move. I've often thought of getting a LED strip, right? That's like,
they sell them.
Yeah, man. And start punching messages in reverse so that it sees in the rear view guy, move, with a big arrow pointing this way. Get out of my way. Beep, beep, beep. Oh.
Adam said airdrop is bad enough. Dude, airdrop on airplanes is hilarious.
That's so funny.
So did you hear the story about the person on the airplane that was airdropping nudes to somebody, but they were actually airdropping them to the airline pilot? The pilot had to get on the radio and say, whoever keeps sending me nudes, please stop or I'm not taking off.
Yeah, that's so funny.
And it turned out they were doing it on accident. Like they were trying to send nudes to like their husband or boyfriend or whatever. It was like a couple seats up.
Hey,
they weren't
name your device something rather than just iPhone 15 Pro S. So there's like you ever rent a car and you can see the big list of all the freaking Bluetooth devices that have been attached to the car, and it'll just be iPhone 15 1, iPhone 15 2, iPhone 15 3, and it's like just 100 of them. It's like, come on,
dude. I've had some fun
device.
Okay? I've had some fun airdrop experiences though. Like one of my favorites was I was in my friend Rob, Darth Tigger. Actually, Adam knows him. You know Darth Tigger, right? So
501st guy.
Yeah. So we went to the movies, and we're sitting in the movies, and his buddy Jake Lloyd calls, the kid who played Anakin Skywalker in Phantom Menace. He calls on the phone. He needed tech support for his live stream while we're sitting in a movie waiting for the credits are rolling. So he hands me the phone, and I'm talking to Jake Lloyd, and all of a sudden I get a pop-up on his phone. I get a pop-up on my phone, and it's like two people 2 rows back taking pictures of us on the phone talking to this dude. And then and so we were like, what the hell is this? So then we took a picture of ourselves after I got a phone, took a picture, and then airdropped it to him. Then some other guys saw we were airdropping, so they started airdropping shit. We ended up in this big, huge circle thing where we were just like taking pictures of each other, making like funny faces and saying stupid shit and airdropping it around. And at the end, before the movie even started, we had like 5 random people in this theater, all like airdropping each other shit. It was pretty cool. It was like I haven't had a lot of experiences like that other than on an airplane. I've had that happen a couple times where I'm on an airplane and I just get a random like broadcast airdrop and I grab it and I'm like, oh, what is this or whatever, hoping that it's not anything totally bad. But airdrop was like really a vulnerable attack vector for devices like the Flipper Zero. But iOS fixed it. I think it was iOS 17 that they fixed it, where now if you get a barrage of airdrops, it'll throttle them and slow them down so that you can like manage them or disable them or ignore them. Before, what it did is it would just bring up airdrop after airdrop, and you couldn't dismiss them fast enough to be able to use the phone. And then if you turn the phone back on, as soon as you logged in, the airdrops were happening faster and you used the phone. So basically your phone was worthless if you were in range of the airdropper. And they had an attack. And I tried it on my wife and me in my bedroom. Hopefully it didn't fuck the neighbors up too, because they were like 60 feet away on the other side of the wall. But we ran it, and both of our phones had, because it attacks multiple vectors. It sends airdropped images, it sends links, NFC, Wi-Fi notification thing. Basically all these proprietary iPhone things that allow iPhones to like communicate and do things with each other. It just broadcasts garbage to all of them. So your phone's just like ding, 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 ding. Things coming up on the bottom, on the top. Things pop. Do you want to join? Do you want to join this Wi-Fi network? Do you want to join this Wi-Fi network? It's like you can't even use it. It was so bad. And when I saw that, I was like, my God, this attack is brutal. And it took them a while to fix it. Like that still was an effective attack for a good long time. But it scared the shit out of me. So I never ran it again, because I was like, dude, you could go to fucking, federal pound you in the butthole prison for that one. Right. Like a lot of people don't realize that, broadcasting attacks over the airways, like especially like what would be considered a denial of service attack, which is literally what you're doing. Big jail time for that. Big jail time. Jonathan said, did you hear the recording he supposedly leaked of the discussion after the Starship test? There was a second away from canceling the booster catch. Yeah, I saw that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. 1 second. Was that because they were out of fuel, or like? Because I did hear that. I didn't read the whole thing, but I watched a little YouTube video this morning when I first woke up. That was like, it was, the title of the video was 1 second away from abort. And I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but they did say that like they were a second away from like not catching the rocket. And I was like, oh, well. I mean, a second is a long time when you're talking about shit like that, right? I mean, you're moving this giant ass thing with like a million pounds of thrust or whatever. A second is a lot. Like when you think of a quarter mile, right? With 2 cars racing, a second is an eternity. So I consider a second a decent amount of time in that context. Don't forget the AirPods alert spam. Yep, it did the AirPod. Yep, it would say AirPods want to pair with your phone. AirPods want to pair with your phone, and just try to pair a million AirPods with your phone. Yeah, no, that's crazy shit. But it ultimately ended up getting the thing banned in Canada. By the way, if any of my Canadian viewers want to buy, no, I'm just kidding. Where is it? Where's my fucking Flipper Zero? It's usually sitting right here on my desk. I don't know what to do with it. I must have cleared it to do something. But yeah, no, Flipper Zeros are banned in Canada. Oh, here it is right in front of my face, right here. There it is. So this Flipper Zero right now, banned in Canada, but the components inside of it to build it yourself and it's open source are all not banned. So you can't buy this in Canada. This is illegal, but you can buy the thing without the case. Basically, no case, the circuit board and the screen you can buy, plug them into each other, download a firmware from GitHub, and you have a Flipper Zero. It's the same exact thing, like verbatim. And it's cheaper too. I want to say that these are like, when I got this one, I don't remember how much it was because somebody sent it to me as a gift. I want to say they were like $200 or something.
I think they were still around there.
They were up there. But I know the components to build one was like $100. It was like under $100 to build one in components.
But I mean, you can't get it that small if you're trying to build it yourself. It'd be tough. I feel like it'd be very tough to make it that small on your own.
No, I think the actual components in here are exactly the same as what you can buy off the shelf.
Oh,
I don't think does Flipper use do they use a custom development board? Because I thought that you could just build it. Let me see. Hold on here.
It's $170 now.
Flipper Zero. Oh, is that what they're going for now?
Yeah.
So Flipper Extreme here. I want to build here. Build a Flipper Zero. Because I know the main board in it, you can buy an equivalent. That's okay. So my current location, Flipper Zero. Where's the source to build a DIY Flipper? Oh, here we go. The hardware is open source. Okay, it says the hardware is mostly open, but you absolutely cannot recreate it. Oh, so it is a custom PCB. You'll need a factory assembled component like our PCB antennas for NFC and RFID, and some components like the display are specifically made for us and cannot be bought anywhere. Not to mention the Arduinos have a completely different MCU. The ATmega and the Arduino and the STM32WB55 and the Flipper and ours can only be bought at an expensive Nucleo board or only in large quantities. Same goes for the NFC chip and many of the other components. Interesting. I did not know that. So I guess the Flipper, because I thought I read a thing that was like how to build your own Flipper Zero using like an ESP32 and an Arduino.
I mean, I'm sure you could like get this similar functionality by piecing things together.
Yeah, because it even said that you could run they were using the Flipper firmware, like the actual GitHub open source Flipper firmware. So I'd imagine that they would have to be using a compatible architecture, otherwise it wouldn't work, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to look into that now. But yeah, $170, considering what it can do, that's a pretty good deal. Because here's the thing. It can do, I've never used this, by the way, this little pin thing. Apparently it's a standard for like some countries for like getting into locks. Like you touch the tag to like a lock and it like lets you in. So it's like some kind of data bus for that. I've never used it, but I've never used the finger, but I do use the IR for doing remotes. I do use the radio inside, the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi for like controlling devices. I do like the functionality where you can plug in a USB cable, a USB-C to this and a computer, and you can use this as a mouse or a keyboard, or you can have this emulate dozens of devices. So like I can plug this into a computer and actually run a script that will emulate a graphics card, attach itself to the computer. Like it's basically, I'm an external graphics card. It connects and then blue screens, crashes the driver and takes the computer down. And that way I can just plug it into a computer, even if it's locked. Doesn't matter, it can Windows machine. If it's locked, if I can physically plug it in the USB port, I can blue screen and lock up the machine. And I'm like, that's pretty crazy shit that you can do. Like that makes this a pretty handy device for fucking shit up. But it's also useful too. A lot of people think that they're just for like fucking shit up all the way, or like open the gas doors on Teslas. That still works, by the way. I can still open all Tesla gas doors with this. So unless they fix Adam, have they fixed that yet? Because my neighbor, he has all the latest firmware updates, and I still can open his gas door anytime he drives outside of his garage. Like as long as the car is stationary, I can't do it if he's driving. But if he pulls out of the garage and he stops and the car is sitting there, I can pop open the charger door. So it's kind of fun to do. And I also did it to my doctor when I went to my pain doctor. He has a Tesla outside. So I actually popped the charge door on it, and he had messaged me later because we messaged back and forth. So he's a nerd. So he messaged me back and he's like, "Did you open?" Because I was talking to him about my flipper. He goes, "Did you open my charge door? I went outside, my charge door was open." But I guess the charge door can close itself on the newer models. Is that true, Adam? Can the charge door actually close itself? Like it's like motorized. It doesn't just open, but it can also close.
I mean, it should. My spaceship does that. Yeah. As soon as I put it into drive, it closes the door. Yeah,
because I tried it on one Tesla and the door closed after like a minute and a half, and I was like, that never happened before.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Because like it'll warn you, say, oh, the charge door is open. Like when you hop in and you turn it on and say, oh, hey, your charge door is open. But as soon as I put it into reverse or drive, even it closes on its own. So it's like, why do you got to warn me about it? You're just going to close anyway.
That is a little weird. I mean, and even if you drive with the door open, it's just the wind's probably just going to knock it closed anyway.
Funny stuff like that. So like, there's no rear wiper, right? But the interface, like all the interface stuff, it talks about there being a front wipers, right? Front wipers.
Yep. Which
implies that at some point an engineer thought, well, there's going to be a rear wiper, because why would you be specific enough to say that there's a front wiper if they hadn't at least thought about making a rear wiper, but then just didn't install it? Which I have to say is probably the biggest like thumbs down about the Ioniq 5 is there's no rear wiper on the rear window. And so even going through like car washes and stuff, it never gets them fully clean, and like dirt and dust and stuff build up all the time. That is to me the biggest negative of the Ioniq 5.
That is a little
that
weird.
I call my spaceship. Yeah. There's a Kickstarter.
Like
there's a Kickstarter for a magnetic one. So you get a wire, it's like a wireless rear wiper that has like really strong magnets, so it'll grab onto the glass and not flip itself all over the place.
Yeah.
But that drives me nuts. Nuts.
Sorry I missed this earlier. Tech Chef 420 said Squarespace was recently bought at a private sale. Wait, Squarespace
the domain or like
the domain or like the whole business? Because I was going to say I still see people advertising Squarespace.
Yeah, I mean Squarespace still exists. In fact, Google domains went over to Squarespace. Google doesn't handle domain purchasing or registration anymore. It's Squarespace. Yeah, they transfer all that over. I think beginning of this year.
Oh, by the way, I want to thank Thomas Brendan. Thank you for your subscription.
Thanks,
by the way, I really appreciate that. I think I missed that earlier. And wait, should I stop using X? Oh, we already answered that one, right? From Car Wash Guy.
Yeah.
God, he's been so amazing, man. He super chatted $5 3 times, and last time he was like blowing shit up too. Dude, you're awesome. We love you, dude. Blue Varo, thank you for that $10 earlier. And also there was 2 offline subscriptions from Sajid Video and Ahmad Nazir. Thank you both of you guys for the support. I really do appreciate it. Everything we make on here with super chats gets split right down the middle.
Eventually.
So eventually. Actually, I deserve that. I was supposed to pay him like last week and then yesterday, and I still haven't fucking paid him. So I figure if I hold out long enough, he'll just forget about it, and I can just keep the $20. No, I'm just kidding.
it's like the King County Metro. Their like slogan is "We'll get you there."
It'll happen eventually. Oh my god, dude! All right, well, I will make sure you get paid after the stream. I'll make sure you get your $96.35 that you
better be more than that.
Oh god,
especially
it should be
after that last
couple
stream.
Months, right?
Yeah.
Well, the last stream isn't going to be in this payday, right?
Oh, that makes sense. Yes,
that's going to be a month out. I have to let stuff. And the thing is, like, it's actually good that I'm a little bit late because the money does change. I've noticed. So I don't know if it's because people are charging back or what the deal is, but that estimated income changes, and that kind of makes me a little bit nervous because YouTube. I'm like, why is that change? Why is that going up and down when the stream's already over? Keep in mind, this is super chat revenue. This is estimated super chat. This isn't like ad revenue, like they could change based on what ads are served or whatever, or people watching the show later. No, this is just like the super chat thing. It says estimated and it can change over time. And I was like, that's really freaking weird. And it never adds up to the exact amount. That's the other thing that's bizarre. Like if you look at the amount that we get like during the stream, and then you look at the estimated amount like a week later, they never match. Even with the 30%. And I did check. It is 30%. 30% is YouTube's take, which I guess is pretty bog standard for like most services. But yeah, the numbers they're never perfect. And so I looked in the thing and all they can tell you is, oh, this is an estimate because of things that can change. So what I think it is the currency, the different types of currency. So what they call it, the exchange rate. I think that's probably what's happening is like they estimate the exchange rate based on whatever the US dollar is like at that time. And then when they cash you out and pay you, that's when they do the actual exchange. So it alters it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, even Adam he said foreign transaction rate. Yeah, so yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so bizarre that they can't tell you like an exact amount. It would be so much easier for me to compute this stuff if it was like this is exactly the amount. But it's like no, what goes into the account and what they estimate in the dashboard are different numbers. But they're not that far off. Like they're within like I think the worst it's ever been is like they've been off by like $40 or $50. So not horrible. Let's see here. Oh, who are you responding to?
No, Commerce Guy, it does. It does. I mean, YouTube takes their cut, of course, like 30% or whatever. But yeah, it does. It does get to us. Yes.
Yeah. No. We get
don't fear that.
Nope. We definitely get it.
No, Jonathan was saying .local is owned by Google, if that is true. I'm not sure what is true, but from what I can see on the Wikipedia here, .local is actually a special use domain owned by ICANN. For where is this? It's for local network. Must be used with multicast DNS. It says on the.
So here's the interesting thing. I use I have a Ubiquity network now, and my local domain is .local. So like everything on my network that's local, like if I want to ping my computer, it's computer.local. If I want DNS to resolve, and if I just do the name of the computer, it uses wins.
I think that's the point. That is its use. That's it's its special use for that. Because like localhost, if you do .localhost, that points back to your own computer. So .local would be like your local network.
Right, like 127.0.0.1. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's just built into like the whatever DNS standard to then bounce appropriately.
So if I ping Barnacules PC, which is the name of my computer, it resolves the IPv6, which I gotta fix that. God, I don't know what the fuck's going on with it. It's
internal?
It's something with NordVPN. No, I'm not. It's NordVPN doing some weird shit. Because with NordVPN disabled, it doesn't do this. So it pings IPv6, but then when I ping Barnacules PC.local, I get the same exact IP address, but it takes a moment longer to resolve. So I'm guessing that's because it's hitting DNS, whereas the other one's just using local wins resolution.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. But that's one thing I do like about the new network is back when I was running pfSense, I had horrible problems with local resolution. Like if I pinged a device on my network by like its WINS name, or I tried to use like the local domain name, half the time it wouldn't find it. It wouldn't ping. It wouldn't give me an IP address. It'd say, oh, couldn't resolve. And it was super random. With the Ubiquity stuff, it's all flawless. Like every time something comes on the network or goes off the network, it's like immediately gets updated. It's got the proper IP address. It always resolves. I don't have to do these DNS cache flushes and shit all the time and like fuck about. It just works. So I have to say that I really do like Ubiquity. Ubiquity has really grown on me. Like the Unify stuff is absolutely amazing.
I thought that .local was like 10x. Yeah, I imagine it would. It would be whatever your local network is. Yeah.
Yep. So 192, 10 and 192 are reserved, I think, for local networks. I don't know. There's I think there's more than that though, because I've seen other people have stuff like.
Well, you get into subnetting. It's because it's actually 192, 168, so and then I think it's the last two bits that are that you have the range for, because then you can subnet down from there.
Yeah, because you don't want to collide with IPs that are on the internet. So
you wouldn't.
No, you would if you made your local IP on your network like something that was already on the internet. Like if I made my local network 8.8.x.x,
I don't think so.
Then I would collide with Google, because if I tried to ping Google, it'd be 8.8.4.4. It resolved to my local before it resolved to the one on the internet.
Yes.
So then you wouldn't be able to reach Google anymore.
Yeah, because your hops are shorter. Your router would be like, oh, this one is closer. You probably want that guy.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
Right.
That would be the problem.
But so other people wouldn't have an issue.
Right. So the IP ranges that are reserved for home, like for private IP ranges, are 192.168.0.0 through 192.168.255.255. Those are reserved for private networks.
As XX at the end. 168 was important to that.
And then the public IP range is 192.0.0 to 223.255.255.0.
Early happy birthday, Barnacules.
Oh, thank you, Michael. I appreciate that so much. Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Here, I gotta get a little bit of smoke action for that. blow a little smoke up my ass.
That your router hands out to DHCP.
That was damn nice of you, Michael. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate. Here, Michael, I can reply to you here. I don't know why it limits the time I can reply, but here, I'm gonna send an inappropriate ASCII back to you. It's actually the search domain that your router hands out in DHCP. I actually found out the other day, and I didn't know this. I feel kind of stupid for not knowing this, but I didn't realize just how much shit DHCP can hand out. Like, I know DHCP can hand out like DNS. I know that it can hand out time server like NTP and stuff. I didn't know there was a shitload of custom stuff that you can hand out. Like you can actually send custom fields where DHCP will even tell a computer where to boot off the network. I didn't know you could do that. Like I watched a Linus Tech Tips video yesterday where they were booting a computer off of an iSCSI target on the network.
No shit.
So normally to boot off an iSCSI target, you'd have to go into the BIOS, you'd have to enable boot from LAN, then you'd have to set up a server so that boot from LAN connects to the server, and then the server would tell it all the information it needs to connect to the iSCSI target. That's how it would have worked in the past. Now you can just, with DHCP, tell the computer, like, when you get an IP address, I want you to use this iSCSI target on this computer at this IP address. And now when you boot that computer by MAC address, it will automatically say, hey, DHCP server, give me an IP. It'll hand back the iSCSI target. It'll automatically connect to it and boot from it. And I was like, dude, that's badass. So you can actually, like, if you want a computer to boot off an iSCSI target and you just have boot from LAN in the boot order, like higher in the boot order, you could remotely from any terminal on the network or whatever, just say, hey, DHCP, tell this to boot from this drive, and it would do it over the network. And I was like, dude, that's so awesome. I had no idea that you could, and you can also do proprietary data too. You can just create like bogus fields, like other, right? you can have DHCP just create an other field that just has the word fuck in it or something. And then if you happen to have an application that looks for that variable in the table, it'll find it and get the value from DHCP. I was like, dude, that's pretty badass. That's super handy. Bradley Smith said controlling your DHCP will also help reducing the access from your ISP. Well, I mean, I got a firewall to keep my ISP out of my bullshit. I don't want my ISP up in my junk.
Oh, I got a finger wagging from mine because I was being lazy when I was downloading some things I shouldn't have.
Oh, did you get busted for torrenting?
Yeah, man.
I've been busted like 3 times.
It was, and I don't know if this was just
all for
legal
PDF files. All for legal PDF.
Yeah, I mean, whatever, and so this may be just a coincidence, but I'm pretty sure they actually did this. So I went to like watch something on my TV. I bring up like Amazon Prime or something, watch some movie. The main page would load, right, with all this stuff. But when I went to actually watch something, it wouldn't. It would just like, it wouldn't go. And I'm like, well, that's weird. And so I checked, and I'm like, yeah, sometimes that just happens, whatever. So I went to Netflix, same deal. I was able to get to like, where they have the list and stuff, but it wouldn't play. I'm like, well, that's freaking weird, man. TV's giving me some troubles, whatever. I come into the office. I'm like, whatever. I'll just watch it on my computer. No big deal. Very first thing I see as soon as the browser window pops open, it says, we got some messages about a DMCA, blah, blah, blah. Here's the things that we think that you downloaded and you are a bad boy. And if this keeps coming, we reserve the right to like throttle or blah, blah, blah. This and that.
$250,000 fine and 5 years in jail.
No, actually, none of that. Actually, they only just threatened to like either slow me down or we could also terminate your account or something. I'm like, oh shit, my bad. Oh, my bad. Sorry.
No, for me, they gave me like the full on threat, like you're going to federal pound me that.
Oh man, I love that when that's so funny.
They really tried to play it up.
Nobody's actually going. Do people even go to court anymore over that kind of stuff? Like I haven't heard of anybody actually getting in trouble for piracy. Like they'll bring down piracy sites. I see that all the time. Anime sites and stuff getting brought down and pirate sharing places and things like that get shut down. But I haven't heard of individuals getting in trouble for that anymore.
It's pretty rare.
I imagine so.
I rarely ever see it. It's super uncommon. It used to happen a lot more back in the day. I think ISPs now basically just threaten.
Because that's what do. Comcast threatened me a bunch for stuff because it'd be whatever I may or may not have done for the alleged things that I had done. And they never throttled me. They never canceled my accounts or nothing. I never got a knock on the door or anything.
I've had my account canceled 3 times in 20 years for torrenting. And each time they canceled it, they charged me a $20 fee to turn my internet back on, and that was it.
Yeah, because that's like the tech fee. That's like your install fee.
They're like, yeah, I got to pay
right?
$20 to reprovision your modem or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like, if you do it again, you're getting banned. And then they just never did it. They never banned it. I'll tell you how they do it though. This is interesting. So
that's probably it.
They honeypot the torrents. So basically, the MPAA or whatever goes out and finds all the torrents. You know, they go out to sites and look at all the torrents, and then they download a portion of it, and then they reseed it.
Yeah.
And then when your computer connects, because it's peer-to-peer, right? When your computer connects to their node to download a portion of it, they record your IP.
They're like, aha!
And then they go back to your ISP in bulk, and they say, these are all the IPs and the times that they connected to this torrent. And then your ISP sends out a message to everybody that the DHCP had that IP allocated at that time to your ISP mailbox, not your Gmail or whatever. They send it to whatever mailbox with your ISP. Most internet accounts come with an email address. Most people don't even know about it or even know how to log into it. And it's just got to threaten it. So check this out. I logged into my ISP email like 5 years ago, and there was 100 threats in there that are like,
that's it?
You've been detected, download, you've been detected. Yeah, I was like, there was like 100 in there. And every single one of them were like, if you do this again, you're going to, risk a fine and you're going to prison or whatever. And it was like this massive list and nothing. Big old fucking nothing burger. So realistically, the 3 times I got my internet shut off were probably after 100 emails went out, and I just kept doing it. And then they were like, okay, whatever. And by me keep doing it, I mean my neighbor was doing it because my Wi-Fi was open and I forgot to have a password on it. So my neighbor was getting on there and downloading shit. So
that's what I said. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about.
I just logged in and fixed it. It never happened again, so it's fine.
Who in their right mind would download Call of Duty Black Ops? Who would do that? I am shocked and disgusted at the horrendous person who would have done such a thing as to steal from Activision in such a way. How dare they?
You can't even pirate games anymore, bro, because they all have like fucking connect to the server and shit and have to authenticate.
There are still teams and stuff that it's newer games are harder. Like
I can't remember the last time I pirated. It's been that long. It's been 10 years
and things, but they're still out there. They're still Basically, if there's like a physical disc, you can do it.
If you're ever doing torrenting stuff, like honestly, the best thing to do is just get a VPN.
Yeah.
Get a VPN. The thing I do is like NordVPN has a cool little feature in it where you basically say only this app can connect through VPN and nothing else. So it's called split tunneling. So I go in there and you basically say whatever your torrent program is, you say this can only connect through NordVPN. So if you don't have a NordVPN IP, it can't connect. Nothing can connect in or out. And by doing that, if the VPN goes down or it's not available or there's like a thing where it disconnects and reconnects or whatever, you're not exposed to your real internet through that app ever. It only goes through the VPN. And that's actually a really handy feature to have if you're doing shit like that. And then if it goes through the VPN, you don't got to worry about it because NordVPN don't give a shit and they don't log nothing. They don't want to log nothing because that's one of the reasons I use NordVPN is because they're based in what is it? Not Costa Rica.
Why is separately such a hard word?
Why can I not remember? They're in a country that has no extradition with the United States of America. So they basically just ignore if the FBI sends them any mails or like, hey, you got to give us. They just ignore.
Oh, sure. It's like the Cook Islands or something.
Yeah. What the hell is it? It's Puerto Rico. No, not Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico
is part of the U.S.
Sure. Where is NordVPN
Cuba
based? Because there's
Panama, Luxembourg, Panama.
So that's why NordVPN operates out of Panama is because they have no data retention laws. They have no participation laws. Like Panama is anything goes. So, and the way they set it up is all the traffic's encrypted through the servers. So regardless of where the VPN server is located, even if they take the VPN server down, they still don't get you because it's all the main stuff is through Puerto Rico. So that's why I do it. And there's a lot of VPNs that are actually based out of the United States. And I'm like, I would not use a VPN based out of the United States because one, they'd have to abide by data retention laws, and two, they'd have to abide by any subpoena from law enforcement. So if law enforcement just wants to see what the hell you're doing, it's like, it's not difficult. They don't even need a fucking warrant. This is the weird shit. So, and I know this for a fact because I've had things happen where the police actually were able to go and get information from companies without any warrant, just by asking them as law enforcement.
I love that. There's a Barnacules, look up Usenet. You have to pay for it.
Bro,
I'm pretty sure.
But I've been using Usenet since you was in diapers.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure,
bro. I've been
Jerry
using
knows,
Usenet since the Tim days,
known.
bro.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure Jerry ran his own BBS on the Usenets or whatever.
Bro, I was running News Robot when it was in alpha, bro. Like, come on. Actually, the truth is, Usenet has fallen off like tremendously. Don't get me wrong; it's for movies and stuff. It's still fine. There's still people who do that, but like for a lot of content, it's really fallen off. Like people just don't see it much anymore.
For video content, that's the way to go. Yeah, but for other stuff, it's definitely more difficult. Yeah,
I can't remember the name of the program, but back in the day, I used to have this cool front end that would it would stream content from Usenet.
Sure.
So it was really cool. It was like you could go on Usenet, it looked like Netflix. You'd click a movie, and it would in the background like download the fragments, the ones at the beginning, and then you decode them and put them into a file, and then stream through the buffer, and you could basically like watch a movie. You can fast forward and rewind. It was a little slow, but it was very interesting. Vote pirate party if in the Netherlands. Wait, there's a pirate party in Netherlands? That's awesome.
Oh yeah. That is so and actually awesome. I think this might have been a few years ago, but they actually got enough votes to have a representative in parliament, if I recall correctly, fairly recently. Because like the way
cool.
Yeah, the way they do it is like you can have a big mix of different parties and stuff, but you have to get a certain number or a certain percentage of the votes to have like a representative of your party in the parliament, something like that. And it was fairly recent. But again, my sense of time is very off. I was just talking with Jerry before the stream about a message I had sent to Adam, and I was like, "Oh, it was only like a couple months ago.
Recently,
it was like in February. It was in February, and I was like, "Holy shit!" My brain said that was like maybe 2 or 3 months ago, and so my sense of time is just a construct anyway. Okay, I don't have a very firm grip on linear time. Everything is just now or not now.
I have the same problem.
Thanks, ADHD.
I usually don't know what day it is. The only time I know what day of the week it is usually when my wife reminds me it's Tech Talk tomorrow. Then I know it's Friday. That's the only time I really know.
If not for work, it would be the same, man. Like when I worked retail, that's when things really started to get skewed. I don't know weekends. Do I work today or not? Like that, and that really fucked me up, man. That was. Yeah.
Xandro said something that was interesting. He said, with AI, everyone is a pirate because all the models are trained on copyrighted material.
Right.
I mean, sort of yes and no. I mean, keep in mind the models are trained off publicly available data, because it's publicly available doesn't mean it's not copyrighted, right? Because somebody could have posted it without permission.
That's a weird one.
Generative AI, 100%. Generative AI, when you're like, hey, draw me a picture of Trump taking a shit in a jail cell or whatever. All the training that went into producing that image most definitely came from mostly copyrighted material by default, like under just a general copyright. Like if you create artwork and you produce it on the internet, depending on what site you publish it to, it's afforded certain protections, and AI just walks all over those because there's really no good way to prove it. Because once something is trained on something, you can't go through the other way. It's not like a hash. It's like a hash, and then you create a hash. Is really easy. To go backwards from the hash to the original thing that created it, nearly impossible.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with training. Once you train something into AI, the essence of what was trained is there, but being able to link that back to the original thing is incredibly difficult unless the training was so overly weighted that it picked up something very specific that was identical, like logos. That was one thing they were having a problem with AI. Is AI was picking up logos. Yeah, and that's why a lot of AIs fuck up text. Like that's by design. They don't want them training on text. When they see text in an image, they ignore it because they don't want logos being represented and names of businesses and trademarks being violated. There's better ways to handle that now. But yeah, I agree with that. AI is by and large, and that's why I've always been telling people, like, the dangerous aspect of AI is that we're training our replacement, right? Like everything that we do, in some aspects, if it becomes public in some way, like we teach something, it goes into a book. Even if we sell it, doesn't really matter. At some point, somebody's going to make it public, through a proxy, right? Even if they're talking about the book and what they learned, or making a video with a transcript explaining what they learned from the book. At some point, that makes its way into AI. So it's like everything that we learn and everything that we do eventually will make it into the training data.
Yeah.
And so everything that we do and everything that's unique about us is only unique for a finite amount of time. Now, that's always been true, right? Because there's always going to be somebody that starts off, that picks up where you left off, or picks up where you're at and even exceeds you in some way, or takes a different direction. That's always happened. That's taken time and a lot of effort. AI takes the time and effort component out of it completely. Because now AI is just like, hey, I found new data here that's like a new topic that I've never had to do before. But not only does it train on that and learn what you did, it can now cross-reference that with every other thing that it's ever learned and produce something that appears to be unique. Right. And a lot of people say, oh, everything out of an AI is predictable. No, it's predictable if you know everything, but you don't. We don't have enough computing power on fucking Earth to backwards predict an AI. Not yet, anyways. So even with the seed, even if you have the seed for the AI, going backwards and trying to see what it produces without running the algorithm through front to back, good luck. Good fucking luck. You're not going to do it. And I mean, that's the beauty of the neural network, right? I mean, that's like one of the things that makes it like really cool is that it looks human and feels human a lot of the time because the way it's coming to its conclusion is a very overly simplified version of neurons firing in a human brain. But still the similar process, right? That's why where the similarities are. It's like when I'm talking, I'm thinking of the next word I'm going to say based on the context of what I'm talking about, right? And then the next word I say influences the word I'm going to say after that. You may not consciously be doing that, but that's kind of like what's happening as you're speaking and you're moving through is you're concentrating on the topic, and then the word you say leads to the next word. Sometimes you'll say a word and you'll get hung up, and then you got to think and go in another direction. And it's like, we haven't quite gotten AI to general intelligence where it can do something complex like that. But the party trick that it does is truly impressive. Hey, take it easy, Adam. Have yourself a good day, man. He's grilling in the rain. That dude's always grilling. Dude, man, I would too. I want to go to Adam's house because, man, I haven't had a steak in forever.
Shout out to our buddy Robert. He bought this. This is a few years back now. He bought himself like this custom stainless steel egg smoker grill thing, right? Thing looked like Sputnik. I helped him.
Are you talking about K9? K9 HP? Robert? Yeah, okay.
Hold on a second. I think my dog's gotta go out.
Sure. Go ahead. James said, speaking of AI, can you talk about the Google Image FX I sent you that you have started using? That was actually pretty cool. So in the Google Test Kitchen, I was actually kind of surprised. So was it Google Test? Let me see. I don't even think I bookmarked it. Test Kitchen. Let me go. AI Test Kitchen is what it's called. There's Video FX, which I don't have access to. I joined the wait list, but they haven't messaged me back yet. But they have Music FX, which can create music without lyrics. Suno is still way ahead of them, though. But the Image FX is actually pretty interesting. Like, here, I'll send a link. Here, I'll put a link down here so you guys can sign up. It's free to use, at least for now. But I was genuinely shocked by how well it deals with text. Most AI struggle with text. The only other thing I've seen that reproduces text at a similar level to this Image FX would be, what is it called? It's in Poe. Let me look it up. I always forget. My brain is like not working like it used to. I'm sorry. The medications they have me on for pain now are just like completely rotting my brain, but I have to choose between being intelligent or hurting all the time. Hey, sometimes you just got to make the bad choices, right? Okay, let me go to image generation. It's called Flux. So Flux Pro 1.1 is probably one of the best image generators I've ever used. AI image generators I've ever used. They can also produce different aspect ratio images, which a lot of image generators can't do. Image FX, though, is pretty baller. Like Image FX, I can say here, create a giant neon sign that says Tech Talk. Actually, that says Tech Talk, with computer components all around it, making it look super high tech and powerful with lots of neon lights and cool flames and cyberspace things. Right?
Omnipotencia, no. The AI, it does not learn like a person. We over the last couple of years, since OpenAI put ChatGPT out, there has been a gross anthropomorphization. There's your $5 word of the day of this technology. It does not learn the way humans learn. It does not. It is not intelligent.
And it can't. It's a binary process. It's not quantum, so it can't.
It's, in fact, the people who've done this are constantly surprised at what it puts out. They've put a thing together that they don't really understand how it works.
That's what makes it really scary. They really don't.
I mean, they can put in certain guardrails and things like that, but the way that I hate to reduce it down to just like, oh, it's an advanced text prediction, but it really kind of is. Man, it gets a lot. It is very complicated, but it is not a neural network in any in the biological sense.
So look at that image. The image effects just generated. Can you see the screen?
Oh yeah.
That's pretty good. Cool. That's pretty damn baller,
cool.
huh?
Pretty cool, yeah.
So it creates 4 images every time you put in a prompt. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
And then there's a big difference too between like text generation and image generation too. Technically, at the core, it's still LLMs, which really blew my mind. But that should give you a bit of a hint as to how this stuff works a little bit, especially on the image generation side. It isn't. It's still trying to guess what the next like word should be. And so no,
but remember context. It's not just going on the previous word. It's guessing the next word based on every word before, every token before.
Yeah, as much as it's as much as it's able to. And that's why memory,
yes.
And the what is it, the context space or whatever. Correct. I can't recall the right term.
Yeah, context.
Like they'll say, oh yeah, it has a million token context or whatever. That's how much memory, basically how much it can remember back. And so, yeah, this, especially the image generation stuff, that's why you get weird things like why it can't do fingers quite right, because it isn't learning the way a human does. Because if it did, if any of this actually learned the way actual real human beings, or even a dog, even if the way the dog learns or something, if it learned at all in the way that people understand learning, this would have exploded in advancement in like the stuff. It would have already been world shattering if it at all learned the way that human beings learned. It doesn't work that way. And man,
it'd be
you could go on for
far more threatening if it was. Yeah,
it is a deep rabbit hole to get into. Of learning how basic machine learning works. Like even something as simple as there was an app. This is again 5+ years ago. Somebody put out an app, or no, it was a joke. At first, it was a joke. I think in the show Community or something. It was like, is it a hot dog? Is this a hot dog? As an app, right? You take a picture and it tells you. Yes or no, is this a hot dog? Somebody actually made it as an image recognition sort of machine, and this was before LLM stuff really blew out and all this stuff. It was just image recognition, which is a whole nother side of machine learning and AI and things like that.
A lot of the stuff gets combined too, by the way. That's why it's improving so drastically, is they're combining different tech to get that result. Right.
And so that's a whole different thing as well. That's you have these what they call GANs, generative adversarial networks, or generalized or generative. I can't recall, but and that's kind of a back and forth sort of thing. You have one set of rules that creates pictures of cats, and then you have another set of rules that's tried to identify is this a picture of a cat. And that sort of thing, man, there's so much of this stuff that gets, you need human verified data first. You got to know what a cat looks like. So like every time you are filling out those little squares that says pick all the squares that's got a bus in it, you're teaching an adversarial network somewhere else to recognize what a bus looks like. You are human verifying the data.
Yeah, we're a big part of training AI. Like we give it the baby steps. It's like a human. Think of it this way. This is the comparison to human. No. Hold on. Hear me out. Because here's the thing I think a lot of people completely overlook that I think is a very important part of this is if you look at the parlor trick that is LLM and you look at how much it can resemble a human, considering that its process is somewhat simple. Like the neural network side of it is simple, but the variables are so vast you can't predict it. It's like a lottery, right? It's like you understand you're pulling 6 balls out of the hopper. That's simple. Yeah. But predicting those 6 balls is really hard because of the number of permutations. Here's the interesting thing to me, though. The fact that AI can appear to be so human, in fact, and so useful beyond its basic algorithm, if the training is right. Like I said, the training does have to be good, right? But the fact they can do that kind of shines on us poorly, because it's like, maybe we're not as complex as we think we are. You know, if this thing can emulate us to this level and it's capable of creating its own content to train on. Again, like a baby, the reason why I say baby is like, let's say you have a baby has instincts. That's one thing AI doesn't really have. AI doesn't have the instincts. If you're born, you know how to eat, you know how to shit, you know how to sleep, you know how to kill another person to take their food if you need to survive, right? If you're bigger than them. You have certain survival instincts, right? The AI doesn't have that. You have to program in those survival instincts, but you do give it something similar, akin to that. But then you have to teach, right? If you want it to evolve and you want it to be smarter than everybody else and useful, you give it skills. You teach it a language so that you can communicate, so it knows how to talk. AIs don't know how to talk. LLMs have no fucking clue what you're saying when you're talking to it. It has to study the patterns of English or whatever language it is.
It's pattern recognition. It's all pattern recognition.
It's all patterns.
As much as I could say it's all just linear algebra, but
here's the interesting thing is the result it produces is very shocking because the people that created it didn't think it could do the things that it does.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Go back to some of the early articles when like GPT 3.5 and stuff were coming out. They were, or like some of the stuff it was spitting out, and then they had to kind of like catch up and cover for. Yep. They didn't realize. Because it's emergent in a way, right? Like anybody in the chat ever played Dwarf Fortress? This is a good example of emergent results in complex systems. So in Dwarf Fortress on Steam, by the way, check it out. Very complex, and so. Dwarf Fortress is incredibly complex. It's like 2 people team, and then some people did the art and stuff, but the actual like code behind it is incredibly complex. It is a game of systems, right? There's water and he's built all of these really complex systems, but there's no way to predict what's going to happen and how these systems interact with each other. And so you get all these really cool emergent stories and things that happen when you're playing. And it's similar with these LLMs. They've built all of these systems, these sort of algorithms, I guess, to with a point in mind, with a goal in mind of spitting out of natural language processing. First off, they want to be able to take human inputs and understand them correctly in context, and then spit out a response that is human-like and again within context. But because they built all of these systems within this broader system, this game, let's say, there's no predicting really what it's going to spit out. Like that's why you're able to sort of game the system a bit, or why you're able to break it and get the do anything stuff, right? Keep
in mind the rules are variables too. So
the rules are variable too.
You give it the weights. You give it the weights up front. You say I'm training you to be an AI that does this specific thing good. But it doesn't mean it can't do other things good too. It's just a specific thing. I'm training you to do this thing good. But it can diverge from that, and it can change its rules if you allow it to. Like you can have it use the training as the rules to alter the weights. So that's why a lot of people are afraid.
Math, right? That's why it's not good at math.
It can train itself completely wrong. It can go, what's that guy we were talking, Terrence Howard? It can go totally Terrence Howard on you.
You know? I've run into that. I'm like, hey, how do I price this thing? So I have an item. The platform that I'm posting it onto takes X% of my sale. How much should I price this thing so that I can make a 30% profit? And it'll tell me the formulas and stuff, and then I'll give it a number, and it'll spit out an answer. But then if I follow the formula, I get a different answer. It's not good at math. The formula is actually correct. Like if I follow the formula it gives me and I follow its logic, the logic part, it makes sense. But when it goes to do the math, it's off by a little bit. It's not by much, but like it's really weird.
But the main reason it's off is because a lot of other people made the same simple mistakes.
Yeah.
And that got wrapped up in the training.
Yes.
But if you want to create a math AI, what you would do is you train it on vetted books, like books that you know are accurate, information that you know is accurate. Yep. First, you'd teach it the English language. So first you'd weight it, teach it the English language, and then point it at books written in the English language or whatever language you train it on. Point it at books that then would train it on the math. And then you would let it free on the internet to go discover new things once you knew that it was well established and well weighted on proper data. That's why some AIs are good at some things and not good at others. It's just like humans. If you dedicate more of your life to learning one thing over another, you're going to be better at it. You're going to be more accurate at it, right?
Yeah.
AIs are no different. They have a finite amount of resources to train, and they have a finite amount of resources to store context. So they have to choose how they play those points, right?
Yeah.
But that's where agents come in, because somebody got the bright idea that was like, wait a second, why don't we just keep putting layers on the onion? So we have this AI here that's good at something, but it sucks at everything else. What if we have 1,000 AIs that are all good at different things, but we put them all under another AI, but that AI is just trained on using other skilled AIs and weighting them against each other to get the best possible democratic solution? So then you have something called agents, where it's like you have the coordinator, which is like, think of like a type in a prompt, and it's like, I want to know what the meaning of the universe is or whatever. It goes through it, it goes, oh, this guy was trained on Neil deGrasse Tyson's work. This guy was trained on an opposing work. It's got all these agents. Then it says, hey, agents, give me an answer to this question. How many of them are closer to agreeing and how many of them are closer to disagreeing? And it can democratize that and then come to an answer in that agent. Then there can be an agent above a bunch of other agents doing that, like a tree. Up to the top, depending on how much processing power you want to spend.
I can't remember who did it, but there was I want to say it was Microsoft did an experiment where they did exactly that. They had separate AI agents that were to fill the different software development roles. You had like a project manager, you had like the DBA, you had the UI guy, and that kind of stuff. And all a user had to do was talk to the like project manager agent, say, hey, I need a software, I need an app that'll blah 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 do this, and it'd go back and forth talking about what requirements and blah blah blah, and then it would then well, to handle, and you could actually see they had a website for it, and I can't remember, and they have little animated little people inside a little office doing the things, and you could see the list of like in a sort of
they created a visualization of how it worked.
Well, and it was actually, I don't think you as a outside person could play with it, but it would as an example of how this worked.
Gotcha.
And so the project manager takes the requirements and goes, and chews through it and says, okay, we're going to need these kind of sub agents or whatever, and says, okay, I'm going to and starts spitting out the tasks. You need to do this, you need to do that, and then you can see all these little cute little guys running around doing the stuff, and like that's how. And eventually that's kind of how I think some of this is going to work. Cause like,
I think we're going to stumble on general intelligence. I don't think it's going to be an intentional thing. I think we're just going to iterate AI to the point where it becomes general intelligence. Once we put enough of the neurons together, we start seeing the magic that we can't explain with the human brain happening in the digital world. And it's going to be equally as fascinating because we're already kind of seeing it.
I feel like we're going to have a better understanding or a better definition of some of this stuff, because like we're already
AI is already creating new content that never existed before. AI is already creating things that its training should not allow it to do. Like a human could do it, but a computer shouldn't be able to do it, yet we're seeing it do it, and we can't explain why.
It's weird though, because like it's some of this it isn't robust enough. Like we're already starting to see problems of AI generated content being fed back into the training models, and it's ruining it. It's making it bad because
overtraining.
It's not good. It's not quite garbage in, garbage out, but it's also not good data. It's not good content or whatever. It shouldn't be eating itself.
Let me ask you a question. What if you had 1,000 AIs that were all trained by humans, very well handheld, all experts in their general fields, and then you had them oversee another set of AIs that were more free and able to hallucinate and come up with...
That's the way.
But then allow the other AIs to govern that and then decide what training data is close enough to reality that checks out with the most agents, allow that to be retrained into the system and throw the rest away. Because that's what humans would do, right? You go to school, you have a theory, all the professors and shit look at your theory, they do the testing, they put it through the works. If the shit doesn't add up, they throw it away and they're like, no, your theory's no good. But you can learn from that. You can still learn from bad data. You just have to be able to tell it it's bad data.
That's the part. Yeah. And you would have to filter up. You'd have a bunch of fuzzy, messy, like, try anything sort of agents. And then you would need these very strict, almost dumb, but super good at a few, their thing, right? These very strictly trained, very fine-tuned models to say, that's not right. No, try again.
Well, finite power, you have to be really good at one thing or vaguely good at a bunch of things. Those are your only options. You don't really get both, right? Humans are the same way. Can you be a jack of all trades and be perfect at everything? Or are you more likely going to be good if you dedicate your entire life to one thing?
Yeah, and that's the thing is you would, it would have to be verified and very strict before you came out with a proper answer. Yeah.
Yeah, so I like me. My prediction is we stumble on AGI, just like we stumbled on the behavior we're seeing from AI that we don't really understand why it's doing it.
It'd be more like a hive mind-ish kind of thing, almost, right? It wouldn't, because like you'd have a bunch of independent, like I said, a bunch of independent, sort of fuzzy, messy tries over and over and over again that need to be filtered out
stimulated by us too, right? It's still learning from the sum of humanity interacting over the internet. So even though it's generating its own data, it's always going to have another data set to verify against. So it's always going to be connected to humanity through the internet. So I think it's going to get to a point where as long as you train it up front and you have enough agents to handhold it, and then the biggest one is being able to undo training. That's something we haven't figured out yet because that's really expensive.
Unlearn.
It's like if you fuck up an AI training it, you can't go, untrain that one thing. You have to go all the way back to the checkpoint and lose all the other training and then move forward from there. There's no way to go out and selectively pick out the thing since everything is based on weights and every single thing you train on affects the weights of every other single thing related or unrelated. Right. So, or I shouldn't say unrelated. Everything's related loosely in some way, right? It's just less related versus related. Yeah, AI. It's wild because you end up and I think humans are the same way. Honestly, I think the reason if you knew what every neuron was doing inside of a human brain in real time, you would be able to predict exactly what you'd be able to reconstruct the image the person was seeing. You'd be able to reconstruct the audio they were hearing. You'd be able to even figure out exactly how they were going to react based on the neurons and the neurotransmitters. Now they're stimulating those neurons because, neurotransmitters make your neurons fire faster, stronger, or weaker. So if you had all of that data and you could plug it into a computer that had infinite processing power, you should be able to predict exactly what a human could do. You could literally have a clone face to face with it like a mirror, and it'd be like blah blah, like in the movies, like blah 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 blah. It's like, oh god, he's doing exactly what I'm doing. Oh my god, no, I am. You are. No, I'm the real one. You're not. And they would do that, and it's because the computer would be running a simulation based on your brain, and the only thing that would break from that is the weird oddball here is the quantum nature of things. So we do believe that there's a quantum nature to the human brain. We do believe that there's quantum processes that we don't understand, we don't know at the neurological level. And if that's the case, a binary computer would never be able to reproduce that. However, the fact that we're producing what we are right now, given the limited processing power we have, like compared to what we'd consider neurons in a human brain versus say tensor cores, it's pretty fascinating shit. Like I think that it's just literally a matter of more processing power, more training data, and more good hand-holding, good training, like not letting just AIs run amok immediately to try to get the fastest result possible. However, there has been some amazing progress in the space. Like there's an AI that figured out how to detect cancer faster than any human can, and it's actually been highly successful. It's wild.
Some of that's actually really funny. I don't know, it might not be the same one, but there was this is again many years ago now.
By the way, we got to talk about nuclear reactors before you leave too. So allow for a little bit of time for that.
Somebody in Japan developed this image recognition, machine learning, not an AI, image recognition to handle bakery because this bakery has all these different pastries, right? And they didn't want to have to bag everything up one at a time, blah blah blah. But they were having a hard time of accurately punching in the charges and stuff. Like, is that a bear claw? Is that a fucking whatever? So they developed this image recognition software so that you could just slide the thing across the counter. It knew as you were sliding the things, it could take a picture. It knew, oh, that's a bear claw, that's a croissant, that's a Bismarck, whatever. And it worked really well. Like it's practically 100%. They never had any problems anymore. But they were able to take the core of that software and use it to identify cancer and things like that. Because you get enough pictures of yes, this is what cancer looks like. Then the more and more human verified data that you have, the more accurate the predictions of these image recognition algorithms can be. You have we got hundreds of millions of photographs of what cancer looks like in people. It got so, and now they are so good that they're detecting things years before humans would ever be able to. They can tell the precursors even. Oh yeah, this is 85%. I'm pretty sure that this is gonna be cancer, and it's accurate, and it's amazing. They're using it for catching childhood cancers and stuff way early, before it's even stage 1 stuff, before anybody would even notice. It's that kind of stuff is amazing. That kind of the machine learning, that is really cool.
I've seen a demo of a cancer detection program that could increase the effectiveness of old equipment. Yeah. They basically took an old X-ray machine, and it could take an X-ray of your lungs, right? Yeah. And it could detect lung cancer from the older imagery than a top doctor on the latest, highest resolution, best equipment. The AI was able to use the lesser equipment with lesser resolution to detect the cancer at a higher rate.
It's amazing.
And it's because it factors in so many different things because it's literally no human, no matter how, as a doctor, no matter how many cancer images you look at and you detect or don't detect or find out or don't find out, no matter how many you look at, it will never be every one of them that's ever happened.
Right.
AI has the capacity to look at every single thing that's ever been documented, everything digital, right? So from the beginning of time that they're making digital images, they can go through these medical databases and train on 500 million images of cancer, positive and negative diagnosis, and then find every single possible pattern. They could detect something and the percentage of it's actually, and it can even get into the thing where it's it can start to predict shit. It can say, even though I'm not seeing something that's cancer, I'm seeing an inflation or a slight difference. And I'm
85% sure that this is going to be cancer.
100%. Isn't that wild?
Dude, and honestly, it is super wild, but it's not, if you take a little bit of a step back, it's not that mind blowing, really.
No,
because we've had algorithms like that, these sort of predictive algorithms where they'll I always come back to the story of Target predicting that this girl was pregnant based off of her purchasing patterns. And we're sending coupons for diapers and shit when her parents didn't know that she was pregnant because of these pattern recognition algorithms. And so it's not that crazy to think, well, hell, I have all of these pictures that I know are or are not a banana. So if a marketing department's cheese ball algorithm can tell a woman is about to be pregnant, then it's not that much of a leap. All you need is the right data that is known good data. And then that's what all these machines are great at, is pattern recognition. And honestly, so are humans. That's why we can tell.
That's why we're so close.
Faces in randomness. We see faces because we're programmed to recognize the pattern of what a face is.
We can literally hallucinate. We can by changing the neurotransmitters in our brain, we can see things that aren't there. AI does the exact same thing, right? In the absence of data, if you get a glance of something really quick, or you look at an ink blot, a Rorschach test. So you look at a Rorschach test, ink blot test, and you look at it, it's what does that look like? It's different people produce different results based on where their mind is, right? That's why it's useful diagnostic information for psychiatrists. So it kind of gets your state of mind. But to you see something. You you look up in the clouds, you see a bunny, somebody else looks out there. I don't see no fucking bunny there, right?
Exactly.
That's you hallucinating based on your current mind state. Or if you glance at something, you think you saw a human move, out the corner of your eye, but it was just a shadow across the room. It's because your brain had to try to make sense of it for fight or flight. Your brain's ooh, do I got to be scared of that? Because that could sneak up on me and stab me potentially, So it takes liberties, and AI does the same thing with enough patterns. You come up with those scenarios where it'll try to fill in the blanks. The cool thing where AI becomes super handy with the cancer detection shit though, is not only does it take all the films of failed cancer detection and all the films of successful cancer detection, it can use the AI to look at something that's never even been diagnosed before and start seeing that divergence from the images in the previous population, and then going back and looking at all the previous imagery and try to figure out, wait a second, is this a new kind of cancer we've never seen before? Is this something wildly new that normally would be just brushed off as completely normal because you see it all the time? But no, this shouldn't be normal, right?
Predictive, like, hey, this could be. You might want to give this checked out.
And this is where AI becomes useful because, thank you so much, GTA.
Hey.
The thing is where AI comes in handy is, like you said, it's like pattern matching. Good, right? You give in the nots and the yeses and the nos, right? You put them both in there. You find the patterns. But where AI is cool is you bring in something that's completely different, that's not even related directly. That's no pattern. There's no pattern between them. And then you apply that knowledge to the data set to get something new. Like, for instance, I could take all of these images and I could say, you know what? I'm going to go and study the entire sum knowledge of proctology, right? And now I know all these cases, how they were diagnosed, the each visit from the patient, what medications were changed, what was effective, what wasn't effective, the average life expectancies, pull all that data in. But now I can go over to the images and the AI can bridge that gap and communicate between the two. The AI can say, oh, now I got all the images and these are the things of this type of cancer and this type of cancer. Let's look at all this shit over here and see if there's a third type of cancer that's never been diagnosed before based on these failed cases over here that they couldn't ever fucking figure out.
Right.
Because that computer can do patterns across different things that don't share direct similarities, right? It's easy to take two images that are the exact same and overlay them and say, what's the difference, right? It's a little bit different when you try to put a square peg in a round hole and you're like, oh, here's an image. I'm going to compare that to English language of somebody saying something. And then I'm going to compare that to somebody else drawing pictures of something or doodling, right? And then you can start finding weird correlations. Like it may come to a point where you literally just start writing on a piece of paper. Like, it tells you what words to write. And from that, it's able to diagnose like what diseases you have. Because it is so in tune that it can pick up on the tiniest little micro, like shakes in your arm or difference in the pressure on the pen and stuff, and look at that and be able to see things clearly that no other diagnostic doctor could with any amount of, well, I won't say with any amount of tools because the AI is a tool itself. But you know what I mean? Like, the doctor could look at that all day long and be like, oh, you just wrote on a piece of paper. But let's say that's the only diagnostic you have. Let's say you don't have access to the person. Let's say that that's like the early detection is important when treating stuff, right? So what happens when it just analyzes all your tweets? It analyzes everything you've drawn online, all your artwork that you've done, anything you've doodled, your grocery lists that you jot down, how you do your notes, how you do your emails. It takes your entire life's data and it puts it together, then cross-references that with your entire medical record, then cross-reference that with every teacher you've ever had, awards that have been given, everything. And it's like, wait a second. This person is on a path to be 98% have Alzheimer's, or this person has shown signs that they could have, muscular dystrophy, or this person has signs that they could have a disease that has never been diagnosed, but there's 4,000 other people that have this pattern, this very weak pattern between all of these things correlating throughout their life. Things that no other human could ever fucking figure out in a million years. And this thing could just draw these like super clear patterns between them. I think that's going to become like one of the most useful diagnostic tools for everything, not just medical. I think we're going to get to the point where AI could literally just be the everything tool. I think we're a long ways from that. I don't think we're anywhere close to that right now, but I really feel the direction we're going in is once something has the sum knowledge of humanity, it's going to be really hard to best it. You know what I mean? It's going to be really hard for any human to do something better than the AI when the AI has the sum knowledge and experience of that human. Because everything we do now is over the internet. Every day we become more connected with the internet. We do everything over the internet. We log everything on the internet. We take pictures of everything we do on the internet. Every prescription is in some database somewhere on the internet. Maybe you don't have access to it, but the doctors do, right? Now imagine once we get to the Uber AI that is trained on all that, or every agent has trained on its particular little thing, and it knows its boundaries, and then they all come together, and now we have 1,000 AIs, or sorry, 1,000,000 AIs with 1,000 AIs managing them, with 100 AIs managing them, with 10 super AIs managing them, and then one mega AI up at the top that is the sum knowledge and experience of humanity since the beginning of the internet. And every book written that has been scanned in. That fucking thing is going to be able to answer some questions that's going to be mind-blowing. We're just like, we're not even going to be able to fucking quantify some of the things this thing is capable of doing. And we didn't give it that capability. We just expanded on its training and kept giving the same algorithm more and more and more data. I think it's going to get wild. Hey, do you got a couple minutes to talk about nuclear reactors, sir?
Yeah, I was working on somebody's computer and I haven't given them another update for today yet. So give me just a second while I take this.
No. Go ahead and update them. Go ahead and update them. I'll get things rolling on this. Hey, GTA, thank you so much, man. We appreciate the $13.99 Canadian. Actually, wait, can I still do the reply? Did I do the reply? Oh, yes, the reply is still there, so I can do my inappropriate ASCII art that I do. I'm sure at some point I'm going to get a cease and desist from YouTube for doing that, but I'm going to keep doing it until I get such cease and desist. LGRFBS said, I've come up with the best use for AI, real-time fact-checking of politicians paired with an electric shock collar on the politicians results in politicians not lying. That is beautiful. Actually, you know what? I use AI every day. You know what I used AI for the other day? Voting. AI is a fantastic tool for voting.
Man.
How many
getting like
times?
summaries of some of the initiatives and things like that. Yeah, I did the same.
How many times have you gotten the ballot where you don't recognize 90% of the names on the ballot and you just go, oh, I'm going to vote by party?
And I like that it linked. I did the same. There was one in particular. I was like, man, like I was property taxes or my property taxes. How's this going to affect my property taxes or something? Exactly. Blah blah blah. Yep. And it spit out a summary of the thing and then included links. And because like I'm always wary about hallucinations, so I went and checked the links. This is where I got this from, and I was like, hey, very nice.
I used Copilot, so I had all the links. Cool. Yep. So here's how I did it. And normally when I vote, I either don't vote if I don't recognize the people. Like if I don't recognize the people and I don't have enough information on them, I'm like, nope, I'm not going to vote because I don't want to tilt the scale that I don't understand. Right? A lot of people just vote along party lines, say Democrat. Here's the reason why you don't want to do that, because a lot of people will run as the opposite party to try to infiltrate it. That happens all the time. Like I've seen, like actually on our case, there was one where it was reversed, where there was a Republican and a Democrat, and the Republican was actually the one that was more Democrat. They were literally running on each other's tickets, trying to usurp each other's parties. It was really interesting. So what I did is I went into Copilot, and a lot of AIs would be capable of doing this. And before you say, oh, the AI can be biased, you can actually prompt it out of its bias, because you can require it to only use information that it can link to the source. And so I did that. I went in there and I created a prompt. It took me, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes to create a prompt. I said, these are the things I care about. I created a summary. I said, here's the things I care about. Here's the things I don't care about. Here's the things I'm for. Here's the things I'm against, like politically in general, right? And I put all those things in there. And then I just one by one went down and said, this person versus this person, Washington, and then the position that they're applying for. And it would go through and it'd pull in all the URLs and link me to like 20 different sites that would be like, this person's demonstrated they're for this, for this, for this, for this. This person has actually been against this, against this, against this. This person is 87% in alignment with your goals. This person's like, and you can go through and look at it, summarize it, and now you can make a confident choice. And I think that's awesome. And one of the greatest things was it was deadly accurate. Like even when it came up to the main course where it's like Kamala versus Trump. It's like Donald Trump has committed 34 felonies. He's been adjudicated for sexual assault of a woman. He had he even went back to his pre-presidential charges for Trump University and stealing from his charity. And it's like he's lied 13,675 times. You know, here's a link to 2 sites that document it with the timestamps. And then it showed, you know, Kamala's like bad stuff too. But it's like based on what's important to you, which was basically like, you know, honesty, sticking to what you say, things like that. Oh, Kamala was 98%. Trump was 2%. It was the biggest divide out of every single person on the ballot. So I was like, wow, it did its job. And I think it's a great tool, because otherwise you would have to go to these thousands of sites and wade through like a fucking nearly infinite amount of data. Right. When we were really just looking for very specific things. Like, I don't care. Like when I vote for judges, there was a lot of judges on the ballot this year. Yeah, right? Yeah. When I looked at judges, I'm like, what do I care about a judge? Right. I care about them not being hard on victimless crime, right? Like a drug charge or something like that. I don't want judges that focus on that, right? I want judges that actually can show leniency and get people help. So I put that in there. I said I care about judges that don't have any kind of corruption. I don't want any corruption on their record. I don't want any kind of, you know, like provable times where they've been swayed by, you know, people that are directly connected to them, familiar ties, things like that. So I put in all this stuff and it came out, and some of the judges, holy shit, man. Like some of the stuff I was finding, I was like, I'm glad I did this, because I was going to vote for this person just because I wanted to go along party lines, only to find out that it was the most corrupt motherfucker that's ever lived.
Judges shouldn't be preferring one way or another, in my opinion. They shouldn't be declaring a preference one to party. I know. Well, and it kind of
publicly. They're not supposed to.
They don't say, oh yeah, right. I prefer Republican. But you can kind of tell based on how they judge.
Yeah, military is the same way, right? The military is not supposed to take one side or another, serving as military, but they do all the time, right? I mean, it's just they're not supposed to publicly do it. But yeah, AI is a great tool for that. AI is amazing, because here's what I think AI is today. Not like this is where I think AI is today. If you go to a library, you have to slog through a bunch of books to find what you're looking for, right?
Right.
AI is the Uber librarian. AI can tell you exactly what book to look in, what paragraph, what sentence to get the answer to exactly what you're asking. Out of every book in the library, the best possible answer that'll get you as close as it can get to what you want, right? Based on the knowledge it has. It's the greatest librarian ever. It's like, imagine if you could talk to a book. And that's what I really love about AI is you can talk to a book. You can literally, as long as it's trained on a library, which a lot of these have trained on publicly available books that are in the public domain. So you can even ask the AI, tell me everything you know about this book, or have you trained on this book? Yes, I have. Okay, cool. So you're an authority on it. Right. Summarize this book based on these are my goals. These are the things I want from the book. Ignore everything else. Summarize and give me these things in the order of most important to least important based on my criteria. Boom, 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 boom. It's now taken that entire book and put it into something that gives me everything I want, all my footnotes. Like writing reports for school, fuck, every kid's got to be using AI today. I can't imagine any kids actually doing the work anymore because you can just go in there and be like, okay, here's my book. If it hadn't trained on the book, just feed the book in yourself. Go find a copy on the internet on Audible or whatever, copy all the text, dump it into the context of one of these big 200K token AIs over and over and over again, or train your own model overnight, right? If you got 24 hours and you're smart enough, go train a model, grab Llama and train a book on top of it, and then go ask it every question about your report or even just tell it to write a unique report. And boom, you've got it. There it is.
Right.
You can even tell it, anticipate what questions the teacher might ask you about this report or what key points of knowledge you should know and prep me for it in the fastest way possible and have it create the summaries of a Q&A that you can train off of really quick just in case they try to call you on your bullshit. It's wild, bro. It's wild. Hey, did you finish updating your buddy there? We're
good.
All right, so last week we were going to talk about these micronuclear reactors and it kind of fell by the wayside.
I mean, it's coming from a side of like, Oracle and Microsoft data centers, blah, blah, blah. But if you dig a little, if you kind of look, where did I put it?
Should I give a link to it?
So here's, I mean, you link to the Tech Radar thing, and then I'm going to throw in the actual, oops, okay, we're good. So the Tech Radar, it's just a couple paragraphs. It's like a 3-minute read. It's nothing crazy. Basically, big companies are trying to they need more power for data centers, for AI stuff, all this jazz. They need power, a lot of power. So Westinghouse is developing this tiny micronuclear reactor. It says that it can deliver up to 5 megawatts for up to 100 months, which is pretty decent. That's like, what is that? That's like almost 10 years, right?
Yep. Westinghouse is like a big military contractor too. They do all kinds of crazy shit.
They make
TVs and stuff, everything.
They make everything. It's like Mitsubishi. They make tanks and refrigerators. 100%. Westinghouse but Westinghouse is mostly a power people. That's their real. They used to make like light bulbs and shit. Yep. So if you look at the direct website from Westinghouse, this eVinci microreactor, I like this idea in a broader sense of like you could so I live in a planned development space, right? There's like 25,000 acres or so. It's a humongous tract of land. Where I'm living is going to be its own little town eventually. We just got like a 7-Eleven and a Wendy's, so like it's coming up. But there's a bunch of houses out here right now, but they have space for there's like 2 schools. Yeah, 2 schools. The 7-Eleven, the Wendy's, they're putting in like a daycare. There's a dentist and stuff. So it's building up into like a proper town. And they have space out they're planning on like a grocery store and a theater or something like that. But I love the idea of this for spaces like this. One of these could power like half of this neighborhood or something. This is 5 megawatts, something like, I don't know at power stuff, but like, do we want nuclear reactors everywhere? Sure, why not?
I mean, the house has a 200, kilowatt hour service or 200 kilowatt per house, I think. So that'd be what, 5 per megawatt? And what did you say, 5 megawatt?
And it's 5 megawatts.
So that'd be like 5, 10, 15, 20,
30,
50-ish houses, something like that. Yeah. 30 to 50.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
And I mean, so there's like subsections of the broader like development, right? That they have cut out. Each little cutout could have their own little nuclear reactor.
Like Gimli on LOTR.
And these things are super everybody gets, oh, nuclear power, Chernobyl, 3 Mile Island, Fukushima. Like those are all individual issues that had their own different problems and stuff. Like the idea of getting like a Chernobyl sort of deal again is outrageous. Like that sort of thing.
Modern nuclear reactors are fail safe. Like they literally.
There was a number of things that went wrong to cause the Chernobyl thing. 3 Mile Island, not even that bad. Microsoft is actually pushing to restart the 3 Mile Island reactor. Like they want to.
Did you know you can't even force an overload on a modern reactor now?
It's and then or what's
if
the
you
one
try to
here
force
in
an
Washington?
overload, the heat will literally blow out the element and drop the absorbing material, the boron rods or whatever, into the assembly and shut it down and kill the reaction.
Yeah, and then even Fukushima, that wasn't like a meltdown. The tsunami like broke their coolant tank or something, and so they were letting out like the coolant water was like leaking. Like or something. If I think that's what the thing was.
It was still a meltdown because the assembly overheated.
It didn't actually melt down, right? Like they were able to shut it off and stuff. Like you can go. Like they didn't. It didn't make a big.
I thought the core melted. The core didn't melt.
Maybe I mean I guess what's a meltdown, right? It wasn't like Chernobyl.
It wasn't an explosion. It wasn't a hydrogen explosion. Yeah,
they didn't send old people in like to clean up because they didn't want the young. Like it wasn't. It was bad. But it wasn't as bad as some of the other problems.
The problem with their reactor, though, is it needed power to sustain the pumps for cooling, and their generators went underwater. So the backup generators that were running the cooling pumps, they lost power.
It did melt down, but it wasn't catastrophic failure.
Well, it overheated, and the reactor did blow up. It just didn't blow the whole assembly like up into the sky and put radioactive material everywhere. But here's the thing.
Okay.
The only reason that happened is because that old reactor technology still depended on power to maintain the cooling to the assembly.
Sure.
Modern reactors now, if they lose cooling, they drop.
It shuts off.
It literally like a heat fuse, like blows, like a physical thing breaks the link. And now the assembly that controls the reaction, it's like a gas pedal, right? It's like, think of it like the throttle position. It drops that sumbitch into the bundle and shuts down the reaction like really quickly, rapidly.
I think. Yeah, man. There's a bunch of other ways of doing things. Like the French built one recently that was like it's a sodium.
Oh, the molten salt reactor.
So yeah, and it's like it's basically a bunch of these little like grapefruit sized basically everything is built to keep the reaction going. If anything fails, the reaction stops and the whole thing just cools off. There's it can't explode. It can't melt. Nothing. It can't.
And because it's a molten salt that they're using for cooling, if it escapes containment, it just basically self-feeling. As soon as it hits atmospheric pressure, it just solidifies.
So I'm all for it. This sounds really cool, man. This whole thing sounds really cool idea. They're really small. It looks like it would be maybe 2 or 3 of those big green junction boxes you see in neighborhoods.
So I asked AI.
They probably don't do that anymore.
So check this out. I asked AI. I pointed it to that site, and I said, "I'm going to ask you some questions." It said, "At your service." I love that. I said, summarize the pros and cons of the technology talked about in this article, and then I pointed it to the link I gave everybody. Right.
The Westinghouse one or the Tech Radar one?
The Westinghouse. Or sorry, no, Tech. Was it the Tech Radar? Let me see. Yeah, Tech Radar.
Because the Westinghouse one actually explains more of what is behind all of this.
This is what's cool though, is AI did exactly what you did. It found the Westinghouse one and gave it to me as a link. So check this out. So it goes through and it says, here's a list of the pros and cons: high energy output, long operational life, reduced carbon emissions, scalability and flexibility, enhanced safety. The cons are high initial cost, waste management, licensing and regulation, public perception, and large-scale production needed. So now I said, hey, how large is the microreactor? It said the micronuclear reactors are significantly smaller than traditional nuclear reactors. They typically range from 1 to 20 megawatts of power output. They are about 100 to 1,000 times smaller than a conventional reactor due to their compact size. They can be easily transported and deployed in remote, challenging locations. And then I said, what are the physical dimensions? It said micronuclear reactors vary in size, but the general idea, and then it went to WestinghouseClear.com. It said height, typically around 15 to 20 feet, diameter, approximately 8 to 10 feet, and weight between 650 up to 1,000 pounds unshielded. So that's before you add the shielding material. It says these compact reactors are designed to be easily transportable and can fit within a standard shipping container for easy deployment.
Yeah, it says above ground installation requires minimum ground disruption with less than a 2-acre footprint, minimal on-site personnel required for operation, maintenance, security. Like
I said, here, let's ask this question.
Put it underground. You probably just bury the thing.
Yeah, how often does it need to be refueled? Let's see here. Let's see if we can answer it.
And I like this little.
Oh, go ahead.
They got this little picture of like a potential application. They say they got the eVinci micro reactor that then feeds into a power converter, and then the power converter's got to be cooled. And so they say up to 150 C, it goes to a heat exchanger, which could provide direct heating to the neighborhood or whatever, which is probably water, right? You probably just cool it with water, but then every house has like under the floor radiant heating, right?
Because you're using the steam to turn a turbine. As soon as that steam loses most of its energy, it turns into hot water. Fucking use that hot water.
Then you pump it back to I mean, we're not hot water for like your shower. You're not going to be drinking this stuff or whatever. No. But for like I said, like under your house or something, which might be a little sketchy. Because
if you use the heat exchanger, you could do that.
Yeah.
As long as you had a clean circuit of water and it was just transferring the heat, then you'd be fine, right?
Yeah, running good water through like some sort of radiator system that is being heated by the bad hot water. And then, sure, why not?
And you know what's cool about that is all the houses become radiators for the to cool the core.
Yep.
So you can just open up the circuit and say, give everybody free heat.
Everybody's house is kept at 68 degrees all the time.
Oh, dude, you just gave me another great idea. Did you know? I didn't know this, but did you know that you can create a propane AC or a propane refrigerator?
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't realize
the decompression. That's basically how condensers work.
It is, right? You use heat, right? You use heat to heat it up. Yep. That creates pressure. It creates the liquid. The liquid goes through the little thing, goes through the heat exchanger, and then it gets a cold side. Yeah. So it's almost like the Peltier effect, but instead of electricity, you're using heat.
Well, it's essentially like when you depressurize the like your canned air, right? You depressurize it gets wicked cold. That's basically what's happening in your refrigerator. You have some sort of coolant that's kept under pressure. And then that's why you hear the compressor turn on when your refrigerator, right?
So instead of a compressor, you use a heat source to expand the gas. Instead of compressing it, you still create pressure, right? So
the rapid decompression of it cools it off.
But you know what's cool about that I was thinking about is that's
actually pretty clever.
Take all that waste heat from the reactor. Now everybody in the neighborhood gets hot water, heated pools, heated, their hot tubs, everything free heated water. And they're actually helping to cool the reactor. So it's all waste heat. It's all free, right?
Yeah.
But what happens in the summertime when it's really hot? Now you want cold water and you want cold air. You reverse that process by using those basically like, the propane where it uses heat to do the compression cycle. Now you're using all that waste heat to actually create refrigeration to cool the houses. So now you're using waste heat from the reactor to actually cool off the houses.
Yeah.
That
propane fridges are used in campers.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
Big fire risk. I would say small fire risk, really, because how often are you hearing about RVs exploding and stuff? I mean,
bro, you literally have gas pipes running through your house. Like everything is an explosion risk at that point.
I mean, we're talking nuclear energy here, right? No,
by the way, this is after it's gone through the turbines. It's water now. We're talking about boiling water, not like steam that's going to blow up your house.
This is such a cool idea. 5 megawatt little, and honestly, they've talked about this before. They've talked about having neighborhood nuclear reactors like this.
You know what the refueling cycle is on it?
Probably 20 years.
I wish 3 to 7.
Okay.
So, but
that's not so bad.
Every 3 years, a dude comes out and like pulls out your little assembly, which they said, how much was it? 600 pounds, the assembly? Let me scroll up. It said, 650 pounds. So 650 to 1,000 pounds. And that's basically the unshielded reactor. So the fuel, all the rods, the whole assembly they can replace. Yeah. So they pull up with their little 1,000-pound thing. They pull it out, pop the old one on the trailer, pop new one in. Boom, you're good. Your neighborhood's good to go for another 3 years.
Right.
You're charging all your electric
if you got
cars.
A handful of these, you don't even have an interruption in service either. You had a handful of them. You just swap them out. In the middle of the night or something, or
you never have a power outage, because even if somebody knocked down a power line, chances are you have another nuclear reactor somewhere on that circuit that could take over, right?
Yeah.
You just have to have a switching system that changes the flow of everything. Dude, it's badass.
It's supplementable. Like you can add it on to this little picture that they've got, like same like around here, most of our power is hydroelectric. But like again, if this neighborhood, if there's only like one road in and out. So if something not even catastrophic, but if something vaguely bad happens, we can get cut off from power. The whole neighborhood gets cut off.
Yep.
But if we got a handful of these, just even as supplemental, like just as a backup, the whole place keep going until they can get the main lines back in and that kind of stuff. Like,
so somebody made a good question here. They said, what happened about the spent fuel? Tygar, he said, what about the spent fuel? So it said spent fuel can be carefully transported to the designated storage facility, often used specialized containers to ensure the safety. Initially, the spent fuel is stored on site at the reactor location in a dry cask storage or cooling pool until it cools down sufficiently. So they'd probably have, if they had a whole neighborhood of these things, they'd have a centralized location where they would basically put these things in there to cool off for a couple of years so that they're more manageable and they're more easily shielded. And then after that, then the final disposal would happen, which is now they're moved to a regional waste management facility or deep geological repository for long-term disposal.
Salt mines and stuff.
However, if I remember, you can recycle a lot of this.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of this stuff can actually be, it's not enriched. That's not quite the right word, because that's what you do to make weapons.
Yeah, we're not making bombs, we're going the other way.
I do remember something about recycling spent fuel rods for other applications. Either lower power things or...
I think you dissolve the uranium like out of the pellets using like a chemical process. I watched a YouTube video on it. The reason they don't do it right now is it's more expensive. Like uranium is really abundant. People don't realize uranium is dirt cheap. Like the nuclear reactors are expensive because of the nuclear reactors, the regulation, the building, the fear. That's why it's expensive. The uranium, you can go dig uranium out of the ground. It's everywhere.
I think you can get yellow cake on Amazon.
Probably. It wouldn't surprise me, honestly. Under a different
actually, maybe not yellow cake. That's wrong. That's that would be actual. That's a bad term. I shouldn't have said that. But
we're all going to jail now.
No, but yeah, you can buy uranium $60.
Yep,
$60. Unprocessed, radioactive ore sample, naturally occurring radioactive materials.
Yep, the same thing they stick in the centrifuge and filter out the 238 versus the 235.
Little rock about this big.
It's everywhere. It's literally everywhere. You can walk around with a Geiger counter and just find rocks of it just laying on the surface everywhere. So it said right here, it said the spent nuclear fuel can be recycled. And again, the reason they don't do it is because it's more expensive to recycle it than getting new material. It's the same story with plastic and everything else, right? Until we've used up the cheap supply that's readily available, we're not incentivized to recycle. But recycling is there. Once we get to the point where all the uranium, the easy to get uranium is gone, we're going to literally go back to the places where we stored all these casks under the ground and start digging them up and recycling.
You can just buy uranium or rock sample from Utah, 10,000 to 20,000 CPM. I don't know what CPM means, but
counts per minute. That's how hot it is. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
How many clicks you get per minute?
That's heck hot. Yeah. That sounds bad. But yeah, man. So
dude, some uranium rocks are pretty hot. I mean, not enough to you'd have to sleep with the thing for weeks before you got a dose.
I love it. It says don't eat this, don't leave it near food and stuff.
Hey, do you guys want to be paranoid? Here, I'm gonna make everybody paranoid for a second. Did you know that every time you're exposed to a gamma ray, a gamma particle it goes through your skin like it's transparent. Your skin does not block gamma, right? Yeah. So every gamma particle that goes through you is colliding with DNA and destroying it. So you literally can get cancer from one gamma ray hitting you, or you could get exposed to a lethal amount of gamma rays and survive it.
Yeah.
The death dose that they calculate is based on an average, just literally what do they call it, a probability. It's just a probability. There was literally a dude that got hit with 20 times a lethal dose of radiation and he survived it, and he lived to be 80 or 90 years old, so he died of old age. It's literally just probability. If you happen to get lucky enough that every cell that's destroyed by the gamma ray gets completely destroyed by your body's immune system, so it can't mutate and grow unchecked, and you don't get a tumor, you're fine. Yeah. But a single gamma ray, all it has to do is fuck up that one piece of DNA just perfect, where your body goes, he looks about right. He's a little cockeyed, but it's fine. And then he grows more of his buddies, and they turn into a giant mass. Your body ignores it. That absorbs resources from your body, and then you die from this mass absorbing resources and spreading, metastasizing through your body. I always found that interesting because it's all probability. Every X-ray you get, every CAT scan you have, all it is a percenent of probability.
My dad got a skin cancer on his arm from hanging it out the window for 35 years. Just from the beaming sun constantly and no suntan, no sun protection lotion and stuff. It wasn't bad, it wasn't metastasized or whatever. But they say, "Oh, that's skin cancer, bro. This weird dark patch on his arm." It's that's skin cancer. They had to laser it off of him. But yeah, man, you dude, that's why like you'll see people who smoked for 45 years and never got lung cancer, but then the guy next door who's never smoked a day in his life suddenly just pops up lung cancer.
And you look it up yourself. Every human, even from birth, has cancer.
Of a sort. Like it's just bad replication. Out of control.
All cancer is just a damaged cell replicating. That's all it is. But most damaged cells that replicate get swarmed by your body's immune system and taken out. That's what your immune system's supposed to do. It's supposed to look for damaged cells and destroy them so they can't take resources from the healthy cells, right? The probability is how specifically did that gamma ray damage that cell where one, it survives, because usually when you damage a cell, it just dies, right? It becomes derpy and falls apart. You have to damage the cell in a very specific way. So it literally is a lottery. Every time a gamma ray hits you, it's like playing the lottery with 1 in a trillion odds that you get cancer. But what makes it cancer is when it's identifiable and they're like, that's a mass, it's growing, your body's not attacking it. That's when we officially call it cancer. But if you look at cancer from like the definition of a damaged cell replicating, we all have damaged cells everywhere in our body replicating all the time. Super common process. There's nobody, I would wager that there's not a single person on this earth that doesn't have some form of cancer inside of them. It's just not a dangerous cancer because their body is either effectively neutralizing it or holding it back so that it can't progress forward. It's like the Mr. Burns thing. Where Mr. Burns had like every disease and they were all fighting each other, so he was perfectly fine. So, dude, I know you got to get out of here, bro. I know.
Yep, I'm going to wrap it up.
I appreciate you staying later, though.
No, that's okay. We started a little late, too. So
yeah,
okay.
the nuclear reactor thing last week, they were not happy when I didn't talk about it. I was like, oh, God.
I think this is cool. I mean, and it has applications for, like, space and stuff, too. I think this is a really cool thing. I want to look more into this and see what's actually being developed and how it says this is like the reactor core is designed to run for 8 or more full power years before refueling, stuff like that. This is really cool.
Gotta get rid of the fear. If we don't get rid of the fear, we'll never progress.
It'll take a couple things where like, hey, we're just going to do this. We're going to try this out and we're just going to do it and see what happens. So
it's not the same.
I think it's going to be awesome.
Yep.
So I think this is really fun.
All right, bro. You get out of here and enjoy your weekend.
Thanks, everybody. Don't let Jerry go for too long.
Yeah, if you don't receive a payment by the end of the day, just keep poking me.
Okay, I'll send the goons after you.
Send the goons, man. Send the bill collectors.
All right, have a good one. Thanks, everybody. Follow me. Like I said, I'm AuxxZillary everywhere. BlueSky and Threads and Twitter and everywhere. Basically everywhere.
BlueSky is our new favorite hangout.
So everywhere that matters, I'm there. So bye. Or which one? Oh, it's this one. Okay, bye.
Yeah, push the button. There you go. Later, brother. Boop. Boop. Oh, cool. When he went away, it actually reverted back to his image. That's what it was supposed to do. Where is the... Wait, is this the other one? No, that was the other AI image I created. That was another AI image I created for the car wash guy. Let's see. Where is it? AI buff guy? No. Oh, actually, I'll just leave that there. That's actually a good image to have there. One of the 4 images I created using Google Image Effects, which is pretty cool. Here, let's go to image 2. I think image 2 is the coolest. Let me see. Is that the better one? Yeah. I like that one. That one's pretty damn cool. Here, let's stretch that out. Whoop. I like that. That'll be a good little placeholder graphic. We'll stick that one there. Da, da, da. Yeah, dude, AI is fun. AI is awesome, but it's also scary, man. All right, well, now it's just us. I think the nuclear reactor stuff, honestly, has a lot of promise. I think, though, until we address all the fears of the public, people are going to just see everything as Chernobyl. They're not going to be able to see the difference. They're going to be like, nuclear reactor's a nuclear reactor. Doesn't matter if it's small. Doesn't matter if it's big. It's just, it's going to kill a bunch of people. But the problem is these people don't realize that like a gas power plant can also kill a bunch of people. As a matter of fact, more people have died in conventional power plants than all the nuclear power plants in the world, including Chernobyl. So like, nuclear power plants have like the highest safety record of like any power. Like more people die from like fucking windmill strikes and falling off windmills and shit than they do from working at a nuclear facility. So incredibly safe. Just the public needs to get over the whole, you know, we're not doing Chernobyl reactors anymore. It's like, imagine if we had built natural gas power plants that exploded and took out like huge neighborhoods and created fires that couldn't be put out because the gas was coming out of the earth continuously for 100 years. People would be afraid of gas power plants, right? You have to, once you have accidents on that level, you have to prove to the public that it's not the same thing anymore. And I think the micro nuclear power plants are going to scare people because they're going to literally see all these little micro Chernobyls and they're not going to get it, you know? So, Yeah, wind energy takes quite a few lives. Like here, let me get the list. Here, there is actually a list of like, okay, show me all the different sources of power and how many people or here, show me all of the different power plant types, i.e. natural gas. Let's see what else we got. We got coal, nuclear, wind, solar, etc. And how many people die per megawatt of power generated on average from least to worst. All right, that's probably a good one. All right, here it is. Okay, so wind. So wind takes 0.02 deaths per megawatt. Solar is 0.04 deaths per megawatt, so twice the deaths of wind. Hydro is 0.1 deaths per megawatt. Nuclear is 0.07 deaths per megawatt. So actually, technically, wind and solar is less deaths than nuclear. So I was wrong about that. Natural gas is 3. 3. You are fucking like 5 times more likely to die per megawatt of power generated with natural gas than nuclear. Coal is 3.5. Oil is 4.0 and biomass is 4.5 deaths per megawatt. That is fucking crazy. Okay, well, I'm glad I looked that out because I was wrong. Wind actually is the safest form of power as far as deaths per kilowatt. Solar is number 2. That makes sense that they actually, thinking about it, that makes sense, right? Because like other than falling off of a windmill, you're probably not going to be killed by one. They're usually in rural areas. They don't put them next to houses, so they're not going to fall over and take out houses. Like chances are the only way you're going to die is either falling off one or it falls on top of you. Or maybe you fly into it with an airplane or something. Solar, how are you going to die from solar, right? Like, I don't even know how that would get. Electrocution, maybe? It's got to be like electrocution. Maybe with wind, electrocution, and solar electrocution. Those would be the ones that I think are probably prominent. Hydro is 0.1. So that's kind of interesting. So that means hydro is, what, 5 times more dangerous than wind per kilowatt generated? But more dangerous than nuclear because nuclear is 0.07. So hydro actually kills more people than nuclear per megawatt generated. That's pretty interesting. And then let's see now show me that same list based on least to most CO2 or other emissions that are dangerous. Let's see what we got here. Okay, it did CO2 emissions per kilowatt hour. Wind is 3 to 11. Solar is 41 to 48. Hydro is 1 to 30. Nuclear is 12 to 16. Natural gas is 450 to 550. Coal is 900 to 1,050. Oil is 700 to 900. And biomass is 230 to 390. These figures represent the life cycle emissions of each power plant type, which include emissions from construction, operation, and decommissioning. Okay, just show me the CO2 from the power generation and not the construction or materials or anything else. Just the power itself. Okay, so wind 3 to 11, solar 41 to 48, hydro 1 to 30, nuclear 12 to 16. Wait, are these the same fucking numbers? Hold on here. 230, 790, 900, 1050. These figures represent the emissions from the actual generation of electricity. Does this help clarify things? No, it's the same fucking number as the figure before that took into account all the construction, etc., which makes no fucking sense. Try again. I love AI. You can just swear at it. It doesn't care. Got it. Let's try this again. Okay, here's a list of the CO2 emissions from power generation alone, excluding construction, materials, and other factors. Wind, 0. That's what I would expect. Solar, 0. That's what I expect. Hydro, 0. That's what I expect. Nuclear, 0. That's what I expect. Natural gas, 450 to 550. Coal, 900 to 1050. That makes more sense now. Because I was like, you're not going to have CO2 emissions from wind, solar, hydro, and nuclear other than manufacturing and deploying and installing the stuff, right? Because that's like the whole point of it. But let's see here. Did you disable a recall? I don't have recall enabled because I'm not on 24H2. I'm on 23H2. I'm not even sure if I'm going to upgrade to 24H2, honestly. They'll probably force me to, though. They actually use gas burners to produce CO2 in greenhouses. That doesn't surprise me. Let's see here. Solar falls from height when installing. I know those dude. Some of those solar panels can be mounted pretty high, and they do put them on like sides of buildings and shit in like really high locations. Let's see here. Could you, the AI guy, recommend an AI that's free that I can just add my data in and get my data out? I mean, a good one to try is Copilot. Copilot is just GPT-4, but it's free. So go to copilot.microsoft.com. Oh, here, I'll give you the little URL. This is probably like the most common free one. And what's nice about it is you can just point it to a website and it'll extract the data from the website and answer your prompt. So like if I want, except for just beware, it is pretty prudish. Like if you point it to any topic that's even remotely controversial, it'll kind of like if I say, you know, how many crimes did Donald Trump commit? Let's see if it's still going to like say, oh, I can't answer that. Oh, no, never mind. It did answer. The last time it was like, I'm sorry, I can't comment on such things. Let's see. Okay. Face multiple legal challenges, hush money case, classified document case, election interference case, Trump University, charity fraud. Okay. Yeah, no, it's listing them all and then giving all the sources. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Let's see here. How many crimes did Kamala Harris commit? Ask it the same question. She has not been convicted of any crimes, and there are no credible reports or evidence to suggest that she has committed any criminal acts. Okay. Interesting. Let's see here. What about JD Vance? JD Vance has faced legal challenges recently. A Haitian nonprofit filed criminal charges against him for the former president Donald Trump for allegedly spreading false claims about immigrants in Springfield, Ohio. The charges include disrupting public service, making false alarms, telecommunications harassment, and aggravated menacing. Oh, interesting. I didn't even know that. That's good information. Let's see. Let's see here. What about Tim Walz? You know, got to be fair. You got to ask the question about all of them. Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, has not been convicted of any crimes. However, he did face a legal issue in 1995 when he was arrested for driving under the influence, DUI. The charges were later reduced to reckless driving as a part of a plea deal. Interesting. Okay. Well, it's fair. It gave me the information, right? So alphanews.org, newsnationnow.com, and newsweek.com are the sources for that information. Interesting. Very interesting. Is it true Muslim leaders back Trump in Michigan? Highly unlikely. Trump does not like Muslims. He's made it very clear that he wants to put a ban on Muslims. He's successfully banned Muslims before during COVID. So I would not believe that. If any Muslim leader is backing Trump, there's some financial attachment to it and has nothing to do with the actual religion, because they would not support somebody who fundamentally hates them, right? That'd be like saying Jewish leaders, you know, support, you know, Hitler. It wouldn't make any sense, right? It's like you don't support the guy who's trying to like eradicate you and get you out and hate you. Let's see here. The Waltz Vance debate was actually wholesome. I was actually surprised. Like, I was surprised that they kept it together the way they did. Like I honestly thought it was just going to be like JD Vance just being like, I mean, he was a prick, to be honest, but I really thought it was going to be a lot worse than that. I would say that was a good example of like how most of the debate should have gone between the actual candidates, not the vice candidates. But yeah, you'll always find somebody that the support, like, it doesn't matter like how bad of a person you are. You'll always find an Uncle Tom, right? If you give enough money to the right person, they'll totally Uncle Tom and turn against their own kind to support you and give you what you want in exchange for whatever you can give them. But there's always a deal to make it happen. Like, fundamentally, if you were truly Muslim and you weren't operating on greed or some other impulse, you wouldn't support the person who wants to hurt you over the person that wants to help you. That just would not make sense logically. The metalhead, you know, it's kind of like why you have people like Candace Owens supporting Donald Trump and oh god, what's the other lady's name? I can't remember. The one with the talk show. The Fox News, Farrah something, Farrah Air. What the hell's her name? Phoenix Faulkner, Harris Faulkner, is that it? Yeah, Harris Faulkner. You know, they're both complete Uncle Toms. You look at their history and it's like they used to actually like support the black community and try to help the black community and try to fight against racism. And now they are 100% just defending the most racist people on earth because they gave them money and gave them influence in exchange for turning against the things that they used to defend. And now both of them shill bullshit products and run scams. So it's like, that's what you can expect. Seriously. Oh, hey, Ashley, thank you for the follow over on BlueSky. By the way, I am still following everybody back that follows me on BlueSky for the remainder of the stream. Here, I'll give you guys a link. If you guys give me, if you're on BlueSky, which I'm actually transitioning from X over to BlueSky because I want to be on a social network that's mostly open source and is not owned by a single billionaire who's changing all the algorithms to stifle free speech. Anybody that thinks that Elon Musk stands for free speech after what is provable that he has done is fucking delusional. Like seriously, the dude is the most anti-free speech person I've seen in some time, honestly. Like, it's that bad. But that's easy enough to confirm yourself. You don't have to believe me. I mean, literally, the dude disabled community notes on his own account, real Donald Trump's account on X, while still claiming in interviews that community notes are what keep people honest on the platform. So why would he disable it on his account? It makes no sense. Again, not free speech, right? The dude is literally running an algorithm to suppress people. I have 102,000 followers on X, and I get less engagement on X than I do on BlueSky with 1,100 followers. That tells you all you need to know. I created an alt account on X just to try to explain what the fuck was going on. And it did explain what's going on. I'm not showing up in the For You feed for most of my followers. So it's like less than 1% of my followers can actually see what I post on X, because Elon is governing, like, people that aren't for the things that he's for. He suppresses because he uses a weighting system, a social weighting system. Or a social score, I should say, social scoring system, similar to how China does in the public, but he does it with posts, right? If you make a post, your post gets a score. That score determines how likely it is to show up in one of your followers' For You feeds or a non-followers' For You feed. That weight is what determines that. But that weight is determined based on how many points your post gets, positive and negative, basically averaged. So if you say something that's negative or against what he's trying to achieve, it gets hidden. If you say something that's pro or for it, it gets boosted. And then if you pay money, you also get a boost factor on top of that. If you're tier 1, I think it's 200%. If you're tier 2 and pay the $16 or $20 a month or whatever, then it's double that. So yeah, he just gamified it, right? It's not real anymore. It's not a real social network. It's just his little playground to manipulate shit, and I don't like it. I'd rather be on a platform that lets anybody see what's posted by the people they follow. I don't respect a platform that completely controls what you can and can't see. Dab said, any closer to showing us the monitor on stream? I do have my virtual machine. So yeah, I would say we are closer. We're not there yet, but we are closer. Let's see here. Oh, Mark actually posted a link. He said, found the BBC link. What's up with these people? Michigan, a group of Arab and Muslim community leaders joined the former president on stage to endorse him and explain why they are backing him. Well, I mean, to be fair, like I just said, Harris Faulkner backs him, and so does Camilla, or not Camilla. What am I talking about? Candace Owens, right? So you're always going to be able to find people that'll Uncle Tom, right? That are compelled by money. These are not, you cannot say, oh, I am a real Islam leader for my community and I'm going to endorse and support the guy that wants to deport all my people and thinks that Christianity is the one true religion of the United States and that Islam has no place here. I mean, that's literally what Trump said during his speech to the Christians, right? He said, you'll never have to vote again. Everything's going to be fixed. We're going to get rid of all these people. We're a Christian nation. There's no more of this like freedom of religion. It's like, if you don't like Christianity, get the fuck out. Like, yeah, no, you would not get that kind of endorsement. These are people that are obviously being paid. But here, I'll open up the article. Let's take a look. Let's see. So this is on BBC. Let's see what it says here. Let me scroll down. So Trump's complicated past with the Muslim vote knows that Michigan could be the key to win the White House. The race as close as there is. One group in the state could prove decisive. Arab Americans. It's also possible that Elon Musk is also footing the bill and giving him huge amounts of money to do this, because Elon Musk needs Trump to be president so that he can get his pardon power. Michigan is home to the largest Arab community in the country. Historical trend fueled by party. I didn't know that, actually. That's interesting. I didn't know that Michigan had the largest Arab American growth or community. Let's see here. Both sides have been trying to court the Muslim vote, which is why Donald Trump brought was a Muslim mayor of Dearborn Heights, Bill Bazzi, who has endorsed him on stage with him, along with Muslim and other Arab leaders. We as Muslims stand with President Trump. Oh, here's the whole thing. Hold on. So he got like 2 or 3 Muslim leaders and an entire state that has the most Muslims in it, and that's the largest group of Muslims he could get to represent him. That doesn't, yeah, they're just straight up bribed. Let's see here. So he says, oh, we as Muslims stand with President Trump because he promises peace. He promises peace, not war. Trump literally said he'd help Russia take Ukraine. He literally said China should have Taiwan. What the fuck is this guy talking about with peace? Trump says peace, but that's not what he means. That's not what his actions demonstrate. That's not his goals. Let's see here, though. I'm curious about these people. Let me see. Mayor of Dearborn Heights. Let's see what he got from Trump. Give me a second here. Let's see here. Here's the relationship between and Donald Trump. All right, see what we got here. Pull up some datas. Okay, any controversial things in Bill Bazzi's past that might... All right, let's see what we got here. Because I don't know this bill. Okay, so Bill Bazzi, the mayor of Dearborn Heights, has not been involved in any major controversies. Okay, that's good. And suggests that he is not that suggests that he's not a traditional Muslim. He has a background as a U.S. Marine. Okay, that's good. And has been active in the veteran. So wait a second. He's even a U.S. Marine and he's supporting Trump? The guy that said that they're suckers and losers? Dude, that's weird, man. Okay, so recently, Bazzi endorsed Donald Trump, which might seem surprising given Trump's past policies that were perceived as anti-Islam. Well, they were anti-Islam. He literally even admitted to it and said that they were absolutely anti-Islam. However, Bazzi and other Arab leaders in Michigan have expressed frustration with the current Democratic administrative policies, particularly regarding the Middle East. This shift in support could be seen as a strategic move based on our current political dynamics rather than a reflection of Bazzi's religious beliefs. Interesting. So let's say that is true. I mean, Trump has pretty much voiced how much he cares about Israel and how Israel is like the most important, that's the only thing he's going to honor. Like the rest of NATO, he's going to kick cans and he's going to help Russia. But he has said that, so why would they be in favor of the person who's going to be 100% for the people that are like blowing up Gaza? Like, I don't know. It seems fishy. It doesn't make sense to me. And plus, it was just so few leaders, right? You're talking about an entire state, right? And he got a couple of Arab leaders to back him. So I'm curious, like, what was said behind closed doors, because if these people were actually paying attention to what's going on, Trump is very, very anti-Muslim. Like, very anti-Muslim. And he doesn't even try to pull punches on it. So my guess is that money traded hands. Let's hear. Bear said I didn't say there were a lot of them supporting him. I said some. Oh no, that's fine. I wasn't quoting you. But Muslims tend to be fairly conservative on a lot of social issues, and there were a few Republican Muslim candidates on the ballot. Oh no, I'm not saying that they're not conservative. Trump isn't conservative. Trump is massively anti-conservative. That's why Trump was a Democrat most of his life. The only reason he joined the Republican Party, and he even said this in 2015, right? He said he only joined the Republican Party because he could only win if he was on the Republican ticket and they required him to run as a Republican. So he switched. He was a Democrat for most of his life. So yeah, no, I wasn't saying that Muslims aren't conservatives. I'd imagine that a lot of Muslims are conservatives. I'm just saying Trump's not a conservative. Trump is kind of like his own category, right? The things that Trump does and the way he flip-flops on everything. It's like one day he's for something that's conservative, but then he's radically against it just because money traded hands, right? I mean, the dude was like, he wanted to secure the border, and then he killed the single biggest legislation to do that ever just because he didn't want Biden to get political points. So he's not, his actions have never demonstrated that he has a course that he believes in and that he sticks to it. All that's ever been consistent with him is he goes where the money is. Wherever the money is, wherever the power is, that's where you'll find him, right? And I don't consider that like a purely conservative thing, right? There's Democrats that have that same initiative, right? But but I don't think he's conservative, not by any stretch of the imagination. I think that he tries to play on conservative goals because he needs to run on that ticket and he controls that party, right? Because he had no chance of taking over the Democrat Party. He had to go after a party that had the religious backdoor. That's why he chose Republicans over Democrats. If he could have backdoored the Democrats, he would have done it in a heartbeat. Because at the time they had a stronger position and he would have had a better chance of winning if he could have gotten nominated, right? But he couldn't. So he went to the Republican ticket. But it is pretty damn scary. I don't even consider Trump a centrist. Trump changes daily. Trump will go to one group of people and he'll be a conservative. He'll go to another group of people and pretend he's liberal. Just the other day, he was like talking to a group of women, talking about how he calls himself the father of women's choice and free speech, and how he thinks that he's helping women more than any other president ever alive. Now he cares about women more than anything, which is like total bullshit lie, right? I mean, that's like liberal shit he's peddling because he thinks that's what'll work on that group. So he says it. He doesn't mean it. It's the same thing when he walked in front of the Christians and he's like, hey, Christians, we're going to do Project 2025 and this is going to be a Christian nation and you guys will never have to vote again because it'll be rigged and Christians will run this place again. And it's like, okay, but then you just went and had Islam people stand on stage and now you're like pro-Islam and you're helping Islam. Like, what is it? Like, make up your mind. So, yeah, there you go. Boom. Dav said it. Dav nailed it. Dav absolutely nailed it. He said Trump is an opportunist, full stop. That's it. Trump was against TikTok. Then they did a charity dinner for him. Now he's for TikTok, right? He does whatever in the moment makes him the most money or gives him what he wants. That's it. That's it. Just opportunist, period. So, you know, it's terrible. No, he's not. He talks about small government, but then he talks about using government to enforce a lot of issues. No, that's my point, is he flip-flops, right? Exactly, Bear. That's what I'm saying, is he says he's for small government, but then he's not for small government, right? He says that he's for free speech, but then he says anybody that says anything shitty about him should be locked up for a year in jail. He's for free speech, but he thinks any media company that says anything he considers wrong or disagrees with should have their license pulled. That's not free speech. Like, and we're talking about him federally pulling that right. That's exactly what free speech is. That's the one thing free speech protects you from, is the government. Trump would be the government at that point. So for him to pull your license, he would be violating your right to free speech. And he's perfectly okay with that. And even like says it like that's a great thing. It's fucking terrible, man. It really truly scares me how blind people are this time around. Like they were the first time, and it's like we haven't learned. It's like things have only gotten worse, right? It's like bro was an insurrectionist. Bro now came out, he's had 34 felony counts. He's been found guilty by a jury of sexual assault. I mean, and even before he was president, right? For defrauding a charity and for running a fake university, right? And not paying any of his bills to any of his workers on his casinos that went under, like the money printing machines that he ran into the ground. All of his businesses have failed. It's wild that this guy is still, there are people that are like, oh man, he's like our Christian leader. It's like, dude, could you have picked a more flawed person? Oh, God likes to pick flawed people. It's like, I don't think you're talking about God. Like if you read the Bible, he pretty much fits the definition of Satan. Like he's literally the snake in the tree of life, right? He's trying to convince you to do bad shit because he does bad shit and misery loves company, right? By the way, I'm not saying Kamala's perfect, not by a long shot. There's no perfect politician. All politicians are jaded and fucked up to some extent. However, there are politicians that work within the confines of the law, and there are politicians that want to abolish your rights and take complete control of everything. Kamala's demonstrated that she plays by the rules. As a matter of fact, Kamala's the only one that has said that she will agree. Like she will go by the election. She will accept the results of the election. There will be no insurrection. There will be no fake electors. They've asked Trump 1,000 times. He still won't agree to that. Trump said the only way this election is fair is if he wins, and he should win by 90% of the vote because everybody in America loves him, which is absolutely fucking wrong. That's never happened for any president if you go by party lines. So he's already said he's not going to obey our rules of our democratic process. He's already committed an act of violence against our country. And when he was asked if he'd do it again, he's like, he won't say no. He literally won't say no. He's been straight up asked, like, is there going to be another problem on January 6th? He's like, oh, not if it's a free and fair. No, period. Like, is it going to be peaceful if I win? Like, what the fuck does that mean? But there's still people that vote for him. That's the scary thing, is there's people that are fooled by it. That's what happens, man. Religious indoctrination is powerful shit. It really is. Like, if you can get people to completely ignore common sense and logic and only believe the person that benefits from them believing the lies over the people that benefit from you believing the truth, you're in danger. You know, that's Jonestown, right? That's Nazi level shit, right? It's like, look up Jonestown if you don't know Jonestown. Jim Jones, Jonestown. Very similar to how Trump operates things, right? You get a group of people. You grow the group of people by telling them that they'll get everything that they want, even if you don't even stand for the things that they want. You get the group as huge as humanly possible. You separate the factions so that they don't talk to each other and tell each faction you're going to give them what they want, even if it contradicts the other faction. Like, for instance, he told unions he was going to support them, and then he told businesses he was going to destroy unions. When he became president, he did everything he could to destroy union rights, fucked over the unions, right? I mean, that's He can't do all the things he's promising. He's just promising everything to get what he wants. At the end of the day, like I said, he's an opportunist. That's it. The only thing at the end of the day that matters to him is getting as much money as humanly possible, bragging about winning and never ever losing. That's like a critical important thing to him for some reason. And staying out of jail. So yeah, it's just this is a scary election, man. This is a very scary election. So please vote. That's what I'm saying. Regardless of who you vote for, just vote, because a part of having freedom, as much as I hate to accept it, part of having freedom is being dumb and giving that freedom away, right? It happens. It does happen in countries. There's been other countries that have been democratic nations that have given power to somebody that they thought was going to improve their lives, only to have that person turn on them. In Russia, they really liked Putin. They thought Putin was going to be an amazing leader. Putin made all the same promises. Trump did everything. They put him into power. He completely usurped the party, completely usurped the government, took everybody out of power that was against him, either had him killed or locked up. And the dude now can't be replaced. Like, there's no such thing as a free and fair election in Russia. Like, everybody knows that. It's there's the ballots don't even get counted. It doesn't even matter. It's like, but we have, if the majority has been fooled into giving up our rights and to give that power to somebody who can take it away that we can never get it back from, over somebody who plays by the rules, that's our mistake to make. You know, I can go the rest of my life saying I told you so, right? But it's not going to change at the end of the day. If the majority wants to give up our freedom, that's what we do. And that's the risk you run with a democracy, right? That's the one risk you run with a democracy, is you might have freedom and the people might have power, but they also have the power to be cheated out of that power and give it up, which is really, really sad. But yeah, it's rough, man. Wait, what is Olel talking about? You've got him wrong. Oh, you think I got Trump wrong? By the way, Olel and I have gone rounds many times before. Olel is fully, dude, the Russian, why are you talking about, nobody's talking about the Russian hoax. Olel, he's a convicted felon by jury. He's a rapist by jury. He cheated on every single one of his wives. He changed his mind on TikTok based on money. He killed Roe v. Wade because of, to satisfy a Christian contract that he owed, and then claimed that it was what everybody wanted and every scholar said. That's not true. The data is there. So you can try to point out like little things and try to say, oh, Biden this, Biden's not running. Hillary this, Hillary's not running. Kamala obeys the law. Whether you like her party or not, she obeys the law. She plays by the rules. She agrees by the rules of our democracy. She upholds our democracy. She upholds the Constitution. Look how many times Democrats have wanted to ban like assault weapons. Have they banned them? No, they haven't. You know why? Because they play by the rules. The people still have the power. Trump's just like executive order, ban bump stocks, gone. And everybody's like, oh, he's going to keep our guns. No, he isn't. He fucking took your shit away with an executive order without going through due process. Like, the shit had to be overturned by the Supreme Court. And the only reason it was overturned was because the court was doing what Trump wanted them to do in the end to make him look good, like he was satisfying both parties. But anyways, Olel, you're not a liberal, bro. You're not a liberal. You're not. Olel, you're a troll. You're a troll, dude. If you seriously can defend Trump after everything he's done, even if it comes down to just the least of two evils, if you can still say that Trump is the least of two evils with what he has done, the lies that he has told, fucking dude, cuckoo. I'm sorry. Dude, if you support Trump, that's on you, brother. That's on you. But you're supporting a guy who's anti-free speech, who has taken rights away, not given rights, taken rights away, shot down the biggest border legislation ever just to win political points for himself, even throwing all of his other people under the bus that worked so hard to get that shit passed with a lot of fucking tax dollars on the line. And by the way, before you say, oh, it wasn't a good bill, Trump even said himself it was an excellent, strong piece of legislation that he even himself would pass once he was in office. That was said. Like, sorry, that's on fucking video. So you can defend him all you want, bro. But no, the code you based your opinions on is faulty propaganda. It's not. Oh, no, everything I said is verifiable. Go look. His felony record is public. His rape adjudication is public. Trump University fraud, public. Charity fraud, public. Cheating on his wives, public. All of this is public. Nothing I've said is propaganda. Everything I said is absolutely 100% provable. Trump telling one group that that this is a Christian nation, and that if you don't like Christianity, get the fuck out, and then telling the Muslims that he supports them to get their support. That's public record. He doublespeaked that, right? We have the posts. We have the video. The video of him going on TV and saying that he'd be a dictator. The video of him going on there saying he'd be willing to destroy the Constitution. His affiliation with Project 2025, very public. The cabinet members that have come out against him. The cabinet members that are in jail. All public information. January 6th insurrectionists that he said are BLM and Antifa, yet he's saying he's going to pardon all of them. Which one is it? The only people that were arrested, he's claiming those are BLM and Antifa because they were the violent ones, right? They were found guilty by a jury because of the things they did. So if he's going to free them, then he's freeing either Black Lives Matter or Antifa, or he lied and double spoke again. These are all public. These are all public. So here's the thing. Trump isn't a Christian. He's not a Muslim. He's just a fucking liar and a cheat. He's even said multiple times that it's his right because he's famous to sexually assault women. He's bragged about sexually assaulting women on Howard Stern. He's bragged about it in the Access Hollywood tape. He even bragged about it in a legal deposition under oath, all on video. So Olel, knock it the fuck off. I don't want to hear it anymore. Okay, brother? Just knock it off. At this point, you're just pissing me off because you're telling me that I'm feeding propaganda when I can prove every fucking thing I just said was true. I never even talked about the Russian hoax. Why did you talk about the Russian hoax? I didn't talk about that. I didn't talk about everything I talked about was verifiable. Killing Roe v. Wade, verifiable. Him appointing 3 judges and them doing corrupt things and putting his case above others' cases to keep his immunity so that he wouldn't be sentenced before the election. That's on them. That's on his Supreme Court that he put there. That's leaning out from standard. So fucking saying that I'm just going into propaganda, that's pretty goddamn insulting when I'm actually giving evidence. And all you're doing is citing shit I'm not even talking about and defending a man that everything I've said is true. Goodbye. I've had enough. I have had enough, dude. I am done. I have my limits. Oh, well, it's one thing to agree to disagree, but bro, that's fucking enough, dude. That is fucking enough. At the end of the day, like, hey, I can agree to disagree and parlay, but you're sitting there saying that I'm saying propaganda when I'm going to say, bro, I'm not throwing rocks in a glass house. Everything I said is fucking true and provable. Everything I said is true and provable, and you're still supporting that guy. So fuck you. I'm not interested. Nah, you're welcome, Dav. I tolerated him for a long time. He's been in here for a long time. Honestly, I don't think he supports anybody. I think he's just a troll that likes to get under my skin, honestly. Because everything he's ever said when he's been in here has just been in defense of Trump, right? The dude literally just, oh, but I love you and it's okay to disagree, and oh, but you're talking about propaganda, blah blah blah. No, fuck that noise.
Tipped $5.
I take great fucking pride in the research that I've done. Okay.
I used to vote red, but this party is so far gone.
Thank you to Legion.
Texas blue.
I appreciate that, bro. I really appreciate that. I really do. I'm fucking done. Like, he pushed me past my limits on that one. I'm done. I am absolutely fucking done on that. I ain't got time for that shit no more. I tried to be tolerant, but at some point it's like, hey, if you want to go back and forth and have like a decent argument on something, hey, that's one thing. But it's like, I can prove everything I said and you're saying that it's propaganda. No, I can literally every single thing I said. You've even seen the videos. Like, that's the thing about it, is he's seen all this shit and he's still going to sit there and say that it's propaganda. And he's the one bringing up like the Russian hoax. Who the fuck has even talked about what Russian hoax? The one from like fucking 8 years ago? The one that actually did have proof that he did actually fucking meet with the Russians under influence. He was going to get information and dirt on his party when he's the one always claiming you can't spy on somebody else's campaign. It's like, if all you're going to do is sit there and act like Trump hasn't done any bad things and he is this perfect goddamn human being, well, you're literally talking about propaganda that has no fucking proof or basis in reality. Fuck that noise. I'm goddamn done with it. I am done with it. Oh my God, dude. I am so fucking over it. Hey, to Legion, I appreciate it, man. Ted Cruz is an absolute piece of shit. Ted Cruz sold out everybody to Donald Trump trying to get himself. You know what's sick about Ted Cruz? What's sick about Ted Cruz? What would you do if some guy fucking said shitty things about your wife and shitty things about your kid. What, like, spread false conspiracies. Did you know Donald Trump did that to Ted Cruz? Donald Trump went after Ted Cruz, fucked his entire life up, turned the whole party against him, set him on fire to force him to bow down and suck his cock. So Ted Cruz did. He was a pussy. He backed down. And Ted Cruz never once said Trump was fucking wrong for making up that false shit about my wife and putting us through that. Never once. Even when he was confronting interviews, like, oh, why are you bringing that up? That's old news. Like, that happened a long time ago. Let's ignore that. Like, I like Trump now. It's like, bro, if you like somebody that did that to your wife and family and threatened you and threatened your career and threatened everything just to get what he wanted and to force you to bow down and kiss his ass and even bragged about it, Ted Cruz has to kiss my ass now trying to get in my good graces. Even said that at a rally. And Ted Cruz just chokes on his cock. Yeah, that's not the leader you want. That's not a leader. That's somebody who sells you out to get whatever the fuck they want because they're a pussy. He's a weasel and a pussy. And Ted Cruz, I hope he loses. And it looks like he's going to, which is awesome. 8-Bit Bunny said, I'm neither a fan of the left or the right. Neither am I. Neither am I. It's polarizing and divisive. All I am is either save America or don't save America. All I care about is freedom in the Constitution and having, like, accountability. That's what I care about. It's not about left or right, because like I said, Donald Trump is not a Republican and he's not a liberal. Donald Trump he picked his party based on what ticket he could be nominated on. He knew the GOP was susceptible to Christian influence, so he did what Hitler did. He pretended to be Christian. He rose to power in the GOP, kicked out anybody that found out who he really was, renamed the party to MAGA, and the rest is fucking history, right? He flip-flops on every issue. He's been on both sides of every issue, minute to minute, hour to hour, because he says, all I care about is winning. He even abandoned his own rally last night because he's like, oh, I had to stay longer with Joe Rogan because we need to win, and Joe Rogan's going to help me win. So you're just going to abandon all your thousands and thousands of voters there just so you can hang out with Joe Rogan longer. You already hung out with him for a long time. You just want to hang out longer, leave them all at the polls. It's like, my God, the level that people go to defend this guy is fucking insane and demonstrates why we have to fight to keep this fucker out of office. He is dangerous. Do you realize he has the Supreme Court majority, and during another presidency, he could place up to 2 more Supreme Court justices? That'd give him 5 out of 9. That would give him absolute fucking power to interpret constitutional law however he sees fit. Keep in mind, he doesn't pick judges based on their history. He doesn't pick judges based on their ability. He picks judges based on which one will swear loyalty to him over the Constitution, which all 3 that he's nominated now have done that through their actions by pushing his cases back that needed quick resolution before the election, and then giving him immunity, which is something that's unprecedented, which should have never even happened at that level. It's so fucking corrupt. So here's the thing. You get Kamala, at least you have Kamala balanced against the Supreme Court that Donald Trump controls, and the Senate and Congress can go either way. You get Trump in office and he places 2 more Supreme Court justices and then he uses them to take over both the Congress and the Senate, and he just takes power like Putin. You're fucked. You ain't got no path out. So it's not the good and bad. It's literally the best of 2 evils is what it is. That's politics. I'm sorry, but that is politics, right? But this is the worst it's ever been in the United States. And I hope that for my son's fucking future, that Donald Trump does not become the president of the United States with this much fucking power. And especially considering he's running for president only to stay out of jail. Like think about it. This is the first president he's literally running for president to give himself pardon power so that because he's already been found guilty of 34 felony counts and he has to be sentenced. His sentencing comes up after November 5th because the Supreme Court worked their magic for him, right? So if he doesn't win this election, he most likely is going to see some big consequences for the things he's done. Plus, he still has to stand trial for the insurrection and the stolen documents. So he's got a lot more shit on his plate unless he can become president and then just shut all those processes down and ignore them. So I would rather have the person that doesn't have any felonies, hasn't cheated on all their spouses, hasn't lied about everything, hasn't flip-flopped on every issue, hasn't shit on our freedom, haven't told both sides completely different things to tell them that he's given everybody what they want, but then only giving one thing to one person that they want. No, fuck that shit. God, man, I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed at like where we are right now. I really am as a nation. Like, I cannot believe that there are this many people that support somebody. Like, talk about grading people on a curve. Kamala, it's like, oh, she has a funny laugh. Kamala, oh, she doesn't even have a fucking, she doesn't even have a single charge on her record. Oh, like, why is Trump graded on such a curve? Why is Trump forgiven? Like, literally, if Kamala had 1/10 of the charges that Trump had, the Republican Party would be just all over that. They'd be like, oh, this is unacceptable. You can't have a felon be president. They said that in the past, by the way. Like, honestly, everything that the GOP is saying now is contradictory to what they were before Trump. Trump has completely changed that entire narrative. So if you consider yourself a conservative, like, if you're aligned with Trump, you're no longer the conservative. You're no longer the GOP that you remember of your life. You basically converted to fucking Trumpism is what you did. Yeah, I'll keep fighting the good fight, Dav, because at the end of the day, I have a son that I want to see grow up in a world that has, like, in a fucking country that has some modicum of freedom, that has a constitution, that has justice, that proves that you can't just fucking buy a presidency and turn a democracy into a fucking dictatorship just because some rich guy that cheated his way through life buys a fucking presidential candidate because he's willing to sell his power to anybody who's buying to keep his ass out of jail. Dude is sick, man. It's fucking sick. Think about it, man. The guy literally said in the same fucking town hall, everybody that did illegal shit at the Capitol was Antifa and BLM. But then what about Ashley Babbitt that got shot in the face, like going through the door, and Secret Service said they were going to shoot her like 20 times as they were like helping her up through the window as everybody's chanting hang Mike Pence. Like, okay, Trump, was she Antifa? No, she's our hero. Like, she should have never been shot. It's actually Secret Service's fault that she got shot, not her for breaking through a window and trying to break into a secure area with a mob behind her ready to shouting that they're killing people. Like, no, it's her fault that, it's their fault that she got shot, right? Okay, but everybody behind her that she was actually listening to the orders from and moving forward, they were BLM and Antifa, so she was taking orders from them. So why aren't you mad at her for taking orders from the bad guys? Oh, no, I love those people. I told them to go home. But I thought they were Antifa and BLM. They were. Okay, so the ones that went to jail because of video evidence of them vandalizing and destroying property and chanting hang Mike Pence and attacking police officers, those are Antifa and BLM, right? Yes. Who are you going to pardon? All of the January 6 offenders that were found guilty on that evidence. So you're going to pardon all the BLM? No, I'm going to pardon the people that were held for January 6th against there. But wait, you said there were BLM and Antifa, right? They were BLM and Antifa. Okay, I'm confused. Wait a second. So everybody that was in the Capitol that got charged that's in jail, they're BLM and Antifa, right? No, I'm going to free those people because they're heroes and patriots. Okay, so those are the people that went in and like hit police officers. No, those were BLM and Antifa. But the evidence shows them like hitting people. I'm going to free. No, we're going to free them because it just goes in a circle. It's like, hold on. Like, are you guys how do you not see the pattern here? It's like pretty fucking obvious, right? He's saying that all the people that did bad things are on the other side, but he's going to free all the people that did bad things. Why would he free all the people that did bad things if they're on the other side? Wouldn't he want them to be in jail? That's the point, is he just tells everybody what they want to hear and talks in circles until they cheer. And then he's like, I won over that group. And then he goes to the next group and he's like, oh, I'm going to ban Roe v. Wade. Oh, I'm going to bring Roe v. Wade back. Oh, I'm going to get rid of this, but I'm going to bring back a better Roe v. Wade. Whatever it takes to whatever group he's talking. Yeah, okay, boo, we're going to get the vote. Okay, check it off the list. We won that one. He has no intention of keeping anything. He said we had to ban TikTok because it was a national threat. The biggest investor in TikTok gives him $10 million and does a charity dinner. Within 24 hours, he's like, okay, we got to defend TikTok because if we get rid of it, the kids are going to be mad. Okay, does nobody see the pattern there? It's like, God damn it, man. And then everybody's like, oh, I'm pro-police. I'm pro-police. Yeah, you realize that there were police officers at the Capitol that got the shit beat out of them, right? They got trampled and fucking smashed into doors. Oh, that was BLM and Antifa that did that. Okay, well, those are the guys that went to jail for January 6th for attacking those police officers and being a part of the mob pushing and attacking. No, those were BLM. All of my guys were outside peacefully protesting. Then why are you freeing them? Why are you going to give them pardons and call them heroes and say they were held like against their... Can you answer both questions? I'm going to free the patriots and I'm going to punish the bad guys. But they're talking about the same group of people on both sides. It doesn't make any sense. And that's just it, is at the end of the day, it doesn't make sense. Trump uses faith. He literally bypasses everybody's everybody's common sense with faith. He's like, listen, I have the most to gain by you listening to me in the moment. Even if I contradict myself and I change my mind and say the opposite thing 5 times, just believe me, I'm the one telling you the truth. anything anybody else says, no matter how credible they are or what evidence they present, they are wrong. And whatever I say, even if I can't present evidence, is right. You have to have faith. If you don't, God will hate you. You're not a true Christian. You can't be a Christian. You can't be a Catholic. You can't be Jew. What do you say? You can't be a Jew. You can't be Christian. You can't be Catholic. You can't be Islam if you don't support Trump. The person who said that he is not Christian, but we're going to be a Christian nation because God picked him, even though he's not a Christian. And he's read both Bibles, even though he's not a Christian, but he can't quote anything from the Bibles. And what? It's sad, man. It's so fucking sad. It just, how did we get to this point? And now you got the richest guy in the world who made all of his money by cheating over the people that actually did the work and lying to the public over and over and over again. Did the same thing Theranos did. Exact same crime. Exact same crime Theranos did. Exact. Multiple times over. And now all that money that he got from doing all those horribly illegal things and being the least philanthropic billionaire in the entire planet, he goes and buys the second largest social media site on the world, says he's going to keep it public and he cares about free speech. He makes it the most anti-free speech platform, disables community accounts on his own account, makes it private, names himself as the sole person that makes all the rules, gets rid of all SEC oversight and board members, fires 90% of the people of the company, and then uses it for political positioning to sell political power to people in exchange for him getting greased, right? Do you really think Elon Musk should be the head of regulation? The guy who has regulations against his company and rightfully so to protect the public? Do you really think he should be the one that should be able to deregulate himself and give himself unlimited resources? Do you really think he should have full pardon power, meaning that he can just manipulate the stock market anytime he wants? The SEC files charges against him and he just instantly gets a pardon from the president? Do you think that's a good situation? No, not at all. It's fucked, man. People are just willing to just throw their freedom in the garbage and just set it on fire, dude. It's weird. And it's all because of parties. They've been raised. I'm a Christian and I'm a Republican, so I vote Republican no matter what. I don't care if it's a Democrat claiming to be Republican. I don't care if it's a fake fucking person that's not even religious atheist pretending to be Christian who wants to destroy the entire Christian church and way of life. I don't care. As long as he says he's Christian and he's a Republican, I'm voting for him no matter what. Doesn't even matter. And that's why I said, I did my research when I voted for our local judges and shit. I didn't just vote down the typical Democrat blindly, because there's a lot of people that will run as Republican that are actual Democrats, or Republicans that run as Democrats that are actual Republicans trying to break in to an area with their party where people just vote along party lines. And it actually sadly works for a lot of them. So yeah, it's like you do your research, you start figuring things out. It's like if you were actually a real conservative and you actually cared about conservative things and you actually asked questions about Trump, his history, his presence, the things he's done, the things he hasn't done, he would not come across as a conservative. He has fought the Republican Party on everything. Why do you think he had to disband the Republican Party and put his own daughter in charge of it and basically rename it to MAGA and kick everybody else out and call them rhinos if they're actually still conservatives? He wouldn't have to do that if he aligned with conservative values. He did it because he doesn't. Oh, my God, dude. But there's nothing I can do other than get information out there that hopefully will spark a neuron in somebody's brain. That's all I can fucking do. And I hope, and I'm glad other people are doing it too. As a matter of fact, Destiny did an amazing, if you didn't see Destiny's debate with one of the January 6th offenders that went to jail for 2 months, that's now sucking Trump's dick on the whole fucking debate circuit. Destiny absolutely decimates this guy, but he makes some amazing points. It's a 2-hour long debate. I absolutely recommend you watch it. It's fantastic. But stop just voting party lines. Realize what's at stake here. Look at what Trump, honestly, COVID in a way saved us, because what Trump was trying to achieve during his presidency got derailed by COVID. Absolutely got derailed by COVID. And yet he still managed to place more judges in every segment of the justice system than any other president before him in history. He dedicated his entire presidency to establishing his power structure so that he could still lead outside of the office. Now imagine if he has the power of the White House to go along with that. Kamala has to work within the system. Trump does not. And that's where it's going to get really dangerous, because you might think, oh, Trump always agrees with me and I agree with everything Trump does. No, you can't. It's impossible, because Trump says he agrees with both things. So yeah, he may agree with you, but which one is he going to pick when he's in power? Because he told one group one thing and told the other group another thing. That's how he aligns with everybody, right? So it's dude, wild, just wild shit, man. Oh, I fucking love Legal Eagle. Legal Eagle is amazing. He makes some absolutely amazing videos. Also, did you see the Department of Justice served a document to Elon Musk telling him to stop his lottery, and he's refusing to? Because it's against the law. You can't offer incentives to people and give them money in exchange for them registering for a specific party. That's actually illegal. That's a federal crime. But Elon's like full send, because Elon already told Tucker Carlson, he's like, if I don't get Trump in office, I'm going to jail, because he knows he's breaking the law. But he's like, if I successfully break the law and I win, then I can deregulate everything and I can give myself unlimited pardons, because Trump sells pardons. And you can verify this. Go back and look at every pardon Trump did in 2019 and 2020 versus 2016 and 2017. Look at his last 2 years in office, how many pardons he did. Now look at every single person he pardoned and how they link back to him personally. He completely went around the selection process. He pardoned people in exchange for favors and money. Every last one of the motherfuckers, except for maybe like 5%. I think 5% he pardoned because of as favors to other people as an intermediary. But the vast majority of them linked directly back to him. Dude sells pardons. Why do you think Elon's giving him so much money? Did I see the Legal Eagle video on that? No, I haven't yet. I'll have to watch the Legal Eagle video. Third shifter, that's absolutely what he's doing. The DOJ literally served him paper. Like literally served him the paper for the lottery. Unless you're not talking about the lottery. What'd you say? Like he did when he was president, lol, propaganda works. Third shifter, are you another Trump supporter that's just going to say propaganda, even though I'm providing evidence for everything? Just tell me now and save me the trouble, would you? Like if you legitimately want to point something out with actual evidence, then fine, do so. But if you're just going to shout propaganda when I am literally giving the actual evidence from Trump him fucking self, that isn't very productive, and that's just going to go in circles. Quite frankly, it's getting too late in the game, and I'm tired of it. You're independent. Who are you voting for? Because it's interesting. Because here's the thing. Okay, you're independent. Do you think Trump committed 34 felonies? Do you agree that Trump has been found guilty by a jury of his peers of 34 felonies? Do you believe he's been found guilty by a jury of sexual assault? Do you believe he was found guilty of defrauding Trump University, fake university? And do you find that he was found guilty even before his presidency of defrauding a charity, his charity specifically? I'm just curious because many other guys just deflect and they won't even answer those questions. Be like, oh, no. Trump didn't do any of those things. It's all, everybody else was wrong. The jury selection was wrong. The lawyers were wrong. All the judges, even the Trump appointed judges, they were wrong. Unless they were for Trump, they were wrong. If they were for Trump, then they were right. If that's it, then there's no argument there. There's no debate there. 34 felonies of the same thing. They were 34 separate charges. They were part of the same hearing. They were part of the same crime, but they're 34 separate felony counts. Like they're all separate crimes within the crime. So he's still a felon. So let me ask you, why do you support a felon in somebody who sexually assaulted somebody who under deposition says that he can touch women without their permission and brags to Howard Stern about watching girls get undressed because he owns the venue and they can't do anything about it? Like, can you honestly say that that's somebody you're going to defend? Like that's the person that you think is better fit to run this country. The person who still to this day says he didn't lose in 2020 still to this day does not accept our process and says the only way that he's going to accept the results of the election is if he wins. Seriously, bro. Like these are all proven. Trump said that. Trump literally has been asked multiple times. He's like, unless I win, not I'm going to accept the results because it was proven fair in 2020 after all of his court cases, everything after the insurrection, everything. It was proven that it was the most on the level election, most verified election we've ever had in our entire country's history. He still wouldn't accept it because he didn't win. And he's saying he's going to do that again. That's really the guy. That's the guy you're going to entrust with democracy over the person that has no felonies, no sexual assault charges, hasn't cheated on every single one of his wives with the next one in line, or hasn't had to pay prostitutes for anything, hasn't had to brag about fucking committing crimes because he even calls himself a predator. Like, come the fuck on, man. Why support the guy? That's what I don't get. Oh, but the Democrats are so much worse. How so? Kamala Harris operates within the confines of the law. She operates with the assault weapons ban shit. I can prove there. Oh, she's going to take all your guns away. Dude, Democrats been trying to take guns away forever. Have they? No. You know why? Because they have to abide by the constitutional law. They abide by the process. Trump just goes, oh, ban bump stocks. I don't like bump stocks anymore. Do you really think Trump's going to, once he has power, he's going to let you run around with your guns after what happened to him? Do you really think the guy that's never owned a gun, never shot a gun? Kamala owns guns. Tim Walz owns guns and hunts. Trump has never even shot a gun. Do you really think that's the guy that almost got fucking killed by his own fucking voter, crazy voter? You really think that's the dude that's going to let you keep your shit? There's people that genuinely believe that, though, just because he literally says it, even though everything he says he goes back on. He said he was going to help unions. He didn't help unions. He said he was going to help the energy workers. He didn't help the energy workers. He said he was going to protect the coal and the coal workers. He didn't. Let them all fucking just fry. It's, goddamn, it's disgusting. But anyways, I think I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my day. And by enjoy the rest of my day, I mean go fucking take my pain meds and try to get my back to simmer down. I'm going to see if my wife can check the pH in the hot tub so I can go out there and soak for a while because it's been a while. Powdered toast man, are you saying I'm nuts or are you saying the guy in chat is nuts? Please be specific if you could. I'd appreciate it. Can't type fast enough. Every politician is crooked in my position. Red, blue are the same, just a distraction. Oh, okay, fair enough. Hey, third shifter, honestly, that was the best thing you could have said. So you're not for Trump, you're not for Kamala. Fair enough. You're just team I'm not going to vote either way because they're both corrupt. Fair enough. It's better than trying to defend a rapist and a felon, honestly. So I'll take it. It's better than most because there's still people that will actually like defend Trump and everything. It's like, oh no, that didn't really happen. Nope, that wasn't on the lowdown. Even though there was a jury, even though every process was followed, even though every single check and balance in our system did it, even with the corrupt Supreme Court giving him every advantage, this is where he is still standing by his own word under deposition in the own charge of the jury themselves. And you're like, no, I still believe him over all of that. You'd be surprised by how many people do that shit. Like, it's absolutely fucking maddening. At that point, you're just a fanatic. That's religious fanaticism at that point. Hey, thank you, Pats fan. I appreciate it. Pats fan, we got a lot on the line. Just please vote, guys.
Big dog.
It means everything. It's not too late to register. If you're of legal voting age and a U.S. citizen, please register to vote. Please mail in your vote via ballot or vote in person before January 5th or on January 5th. I'm not going to tell you how to vote. I'm just saying just vote because honestly, it's our democracy to lose. It's our constitution to lose, right? Trump said he'll take it away. Kamala proves she'll uphold it, and she's been the vice president for 4 years and has upheld it during that time. So Trump wants to take it away and promised he'll take it away several times, and several of his rallies have promised that he's going to run the show. He even said the vice president doesn't, JD Vance doesn't matter. Vice president doesn't matter. Kamala will work with her vice president. Trump says he only surrounds himself with yes men because they're there to do his bidding and they need to listen to him because he needs generals that listen to him and nobody else. Like, that's not the dude we need to fucking ensure our freedom in the future. That is a guy who is cheating you out of your autonomy by using your religion against you. That's exactly what he's doing, and it's fucking disgusting. Thank you, Gamers Unite. You guys have been awesome today. I appreciate it. Please just get out and vote. Yeah, January will be too late. Sorry, November. Did I say January? If I said January, my bad. No, November 5th. November 5th, not January. Sorry, my brain is a little fried right now. I'm tired. I only slept for 3 hours. Hey, Rypunk, you can be glad you're not voting. That's perfectly fine. Like I said, it's even if you don't vote, you're still voting. Not voting is still voting. At the end of the day, not voting isn't helping either. It's not hurting either, right? But it's still voting. It's still you. Your portion is still being played because it's still counted whether you vote or not in the grand scheme of the majority across the representatives in your district. The ultimate, I mean, if you're the final vote and your district, then, you know, you're making your voice heard. You're making your voice heard by not voting, and that's fine because those are the options, right? It's like one, the other, or none. But just at the end of the day, just be sure Trump's got Elon Musk buying votes. in the swing states, specifically targeting the swing states late in the election right now, and it's already a close election. Elon really thinks he can buy this thing, and he does have a fair point. He could actually be the first person to buy a president of the United States of America and literally be able to run an entire country by proxy with the resources he has. That's fucking scary to me, especially when you're considering that the dude is completely breaking down. He's massively racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, fucking thinks women are shit, cheated on every wife with another wife, fucking hates his kids. Like, not the kind of people like him and Trump are two peas in a pod. I'd fucking... JD Vance is going to be vice president, by the way. He'll be vice president in name only. It's like Elon Musk has the money. Elon Musk is buying the presidency. Elon Musk will be calling the vice president shots, right? He's going to be the one. If JD Vance tries to go against him at all, he'll be voted out. So if you think JD has any say in any of this, Trump has pretty much said that's not going to happen. So, I haven't tried any photorealism pictures in ImageFX yet. I'll have to give that a try. It does pretty good with photorealism. Do you think Trump would try to invade Canada? No. No, Trump is focused on helping Russia. Now, if Russia wanted Canada, he'd probably help him. But no, he said that his goals are to disband NATO. This is his words. Disband NATO, destroy the education system. He says he doesn't want to have an public education system at all because he doesn't want an educated public. An educated public is dangerous. He needs the public to be indoctrinated into religion and indoctrinated into faith he can control as a king, right? So he wants to destroy the education system. He said that. He said that. He said he's going to kill he's gone, so no education system at all. Not Betsy DeVos ripping off the education system this time, just neutralized, gone, right? And the person he's going to put in control of all the regulation of all the companies in the United States for the benefit of the public is going to be Elon Musk, the guy who violates most of those regulations. Like, and the dude's going to sell pardons to everybody just like he did last time. So I don't think he's going to invade Canada, but no, he's already pretty much said he's going to disband NATO and he's going to fucking help our enemies go after our allies. And for some reason, everybody cheers him when he says that. That's the thing I don't understand. It's like there's a shitload of fucking Christians in Ukraine. Really? Like, oh, you're Christian, but you're just going to abandon all your Christian brothers over there? What, to help fucking Putin take over? Like another dictator just so he can grab some more land in a war that he started just for his own fucking ego? Will Trump sell Alaska to Putin? I mean, if it's enough money, he would for in a fucking heartbeat. And he'd probably give him a killer deal as long as he said Trump was so mighty and powerful. Wait, Rypunk said she can't even speak? Harris speaks so much better than Trump. Are you kidding me? Have you ever seen the two speak side by side? Kamala speaks way more articulate. Shit, they even had a fucking PhD doctor analyze the speech patterns of both of them, and they put Trump at like fucking not even at like grade school level of speaking. You could have been talking about somebody else though. I didn't catch the name. I just, when you say her and then they're the only two running, I assume that you're talking about Harris. But if not, fair enough. But again, if you're still defending that you don't think Trump did those things, or the felonies, oh, that was a farce, or the sexual thing, that was a farce, the things he admitted to under deposition, that was a farce, and he's a super articulate speaker and everything, then you're kind of defending him over Harris. Whether you're voting or not, or you call yourself an independent, it does seem like you're very much leaning towards the guy who's a felon and a rapist. That's how it appears when you talk that way. I'm just saying. Are you concerned about big foreign banks running the U.S. by proxy? Absolutely. Absolutely. Trump will sell power. Trump made it clear during his first election. His power is for sale. If you rent all the rooms in his hotel, he'll fucking change everything, right? The highest bidder, anything. Like, the dude literally, all he cares about is the deal, right? He cares about winning. He doesn't care what the winning entails. He doesn't even care if it's really winning. It's just him saying he won, right? That's his winning. That is true. Yeah, they all just say, oh, it's all fake news. All right. Anyways, I'm out of here, guys. I'm gonna go and get some rest. I love you guys. Thank you so much today for hanging out. Thank you so much for the super chats and the support. Thank you for the conversation. Please make sure that you get out and vote. Please make it a priority. Trump voters are going to turn out. They're going to turn out. They're going to turn out in huge numbers, especially in the swing states, since Elon is literally buying votes, and people need money right now. So it's like Elon knows that. Elon knows he can leverage his wealth over people and force them to do things that they otherwise wouldn't want to do. Like, people will sell their freedom if that's what it takes to survive. And Trump will be happy to take advantage of that, So, if Kamala's elected, it's much of the same. If Trump's elected, we throw it all away. It's like, literally, I've done so much fucking research on this. I promise
Joe
you.
Taji tipped
This is no joke.
$9.99. Great stream, bud. Been lurking.
Thank you.
Having a great day. My Steam Deck stopped working this morning, so I've been trying to figure it out.
Oh, that sucks. I hope it didn't croak on you. Did you check the cable? I wish they had replaceable cables. I think that's the one big design flaw with the Steam Deck, is it really needs replaceable cables. He's the most effective con man and liar in the U.S. political history. It is true. He is a very good con man. So is Elon Musk. I mean, that's why they're made for each other, right? You have two people that absolutely hate each other, have insulted each other. Elon said he should never be president. Trump called Elon Musk a low IQ individual. And now they're both supporting each other because they need each other, because they've both been put into a sticky situation and they need to stay out of jail. It's wild. James, I'll try it out later. I saw your previous message. I just didn't respond to it because I'm not doing anything with ImageFX right now on stream. All right, guys. Hey, Kevin, it's good to see you too, man. Or Kelvin, sorry. Home RDK. He said, I normally hear the phrase, don't trust a politician, but his fans did not go to school. It's so true. Man. Just, yeah, at the end of the day, all that matters is that we keep Trump out of the White House. That is, like, critical. Once that happens, I'll tell you what. If we can manage to do that, because keep in mind, they still have to count the ballots for a week. So when Trump inevitably calls the election, now keep in mind, he won't call the election if he's losing. If he's losing, he will not call the election. He'll be like, oh, no, we still got to go for a week, count mail-in ballots, because now he's telling his people to use mail-in ballots, even though he said that they don't work and they're crooked and not to use them. Again, flip-flopping, right? So if he's winning, he'll say stop the count, which, again, same thing he did in 2020, even though the courts proved that, no, every other election in history, you got to count the ballots. And then if he doesn't win, he'll let it play out. But at the end, if he wins, we're fucked in the long term. In the short term, it'll be bad, but in the long term, it'll be way worse. If Kamala wins, then we're at least secure for another 4 years, because she will play by the rules. And at the end of the 4 years, there will be another free and fair election. If Trump's elected, no, he already said to the Christians, he said, if you just vote for me this one last time and put me in office, I will make sure nobody has to vote again. He's like, I will fix the system so nobody has to vote. His words. So not somebody that we need in office. It's actually scary that he can even run, honestly. I don't know how the fuck you're qualified to run as president when you disrespect the democracy, you disrespect the rules, you say you won't abide by any of the rules, you say that the people's power doesn't matter, you claim that the people support, 99% of the people support you when there is absolutely no statistic. You refuse to name names, you refuse to name sources, you say every scholar is with you but can't name a single scholar who's with you. Goddamn, man. It's hard to fight somebody that is that fucking delusional. But he's dangerous, man. The only thing more dangerous than an intelligent criminal is a dumb criminal. Because a dumb criminal will literally do shit so stupid that it's even dangerous to themselves. They'll take everybody else down with them. Hey, Ron Gal, it's good to see you. By the way, hey, everybody, give me a follow over on the BlueSky. Give me a follow over on the BlueSky. BlueSky / your profile / Barnacules Nerdgasm, because I'm using my domain because that's really cool. I'm going to start hanging out over there more. Let's see here. Make sure I did that right. Barnacules Nerdgasm.com. Is that the right one? Here, let me make sure that link works here before I leave you with it. Yep, that's the one. Create an account if you haven't already. I'll try to give you a follow back. Yeah, I'm going to start being more active over here than I am on X, because Elon has heavily suppressed people on X for the duration of the election so that he can try to rig it. Again, I can prove it. Now you can prove it too. Go create an alt account, follow your primary, tweet anything that's anti-Elon Musk, critical Elon Musk, comment on Elon Musk's post. See if you can go and even find the fucking comment in there from your alt account. Good fucking luck if it's critical. I'm going to stay on a platform that gives everybody equal footing. BlueSky does just that. All right, guys. Peace out. I'll catch you next week. Actually, I don't know. Let's see. Is it tomorrow? I might stream tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure. My back is still fucking killing me, but hopefully the hot tub can help with that. Maybe I'll do stream for the hot tub. That'd be kind of nice. I got to get back on Twitch though. Dude, the Twitch is like got to be a priority. But yeah, it's fucking, man, I'm scared, guys. If you guys can't tell, just look at me. I am scared shitless of this election. I thought 2016 was scary, and it ended up being absolutely scary. I mean, literally, we had more fatalities here in the United States than anywhere else in the world because of Trump's mishandling of COVID. I am so afraid of going through another 4 years with that fucker. And that dude had like the gangbuster economy handed to him when he came into office, right? It's like, fuck, man, we are fucked if he wins. And honestly, there's a chance he could, especially with Elon. Elon is not playing by the rules. He is openly even admitting that he's like, I'm all in. He's like, if I don't get Trump elected, I'm going to jail. He is 100% committed to breaking every rule because he knows if Trump does not get the office, he cannot pardon him and protect him. So he's going to do everything he can. He's going to beg, borrow, and steal, grab every penny, everything that he never used for any philanthropic purpose, and just sat on all those resources, fucking over America time and time again, lying to their face. He's going to now use all those resources to try to put a corrupt individual into place that makes him a president by proxy. And that is fucking scary. All right, guys, gloves come off, man. Yeah, Hysterio. No shit, right? For sure. But, you think both sides are scared? One side is legitimately scared. Trump's side isn't scared. They're violent, right? That's like saying the Nazis are scared. Like, no. They are fucking foaming at the mouth for fucking civil war if he doesn't win. If we don't win, we have to just accept that shit's going to get bad and have to deal with it as it comes. And that's scary. But yeah, just be fair. Fuck it. Hey, what's up, Mo World? Let me just end on this. Yes, politicians have corruption. Politicians do bad things, but there's always a worse. This isn't just a little bit worse and a little bit more worse. This is a actual decent person that could end up doing a good job that we've already had as the vice president for 4 years, who has actually been a good person, loyal, their cabinet supports him. And then you have Trump, who's been found guilty of 34 felony counts, adjudicated a fucking rapist, has 2 more trials ahead of him. Dude literally committed fraud before he even came into office the first time, continued to keep doing it, claims he's a Christian but has never prayed to God, never asked for forgiveness, claims he's never done anything wrong in his life, he's never lost a deal, he's always won everything he's ever done, even when he hasn't. This is so far unbalanced. Like, this is the most unbalanced any election has ever been. This is literally straight up good against fucking evil. So do what you... That's so funny. Homer DK, I love your image of Trump and Elon making out by the pool. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. All right, I'm really going to get out of here this time. You guys have been awesome. I love your faces. Thank you for showing up every week. I really do appreciate it. Every once in a while, somebody has to get under my skin and be an absolute fucking douchebagger, and sometimes I just have to call the line and kick them, but... at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, it's taken too much of my time. It's taken my resources away from trying to reach the people that can still be reached. So it's just, there's no point to it. I need to learn to draw that line a little bit faster, because it's like, if somebody's willing to listen and somebody's willing to trade data for data, that's a good thing, right? Patrick, check your blood pressure ASAP. My blood pressure is always high, Patrick. Hey, Patrick, you're not the one that's on X always telling me to calm down, or I'm going to like pop a fuse, or you're not that Patrick, are you? Because if so, stop implying that I'm going to drop dead because of this shit. I'm going to drop dead if Trump fucking wins. I'm going to drop dead if my son doesn't have a future because Trump thinks fucking autistic people need to be like thrown in the pizza oven. Like, I don't need that. I don't need that. I need a fucking president that actually cares about everybody. I need a president that thinks everybody has value to society. I don't need Donald Trump again. None of us need Donald Trump. Fucking Donald Trump's own supporters are shooting themselves in the foot by giving that guy power again. Seriously. Kelvin said, just trying to trigger you. All right, Patrick. Fair enough. I just wanted to make sure. I want to make sure that Patrick's a pretty common name. Yeah, no, my blood pressure is always high, dude. It doesn't matter, but yeah, I'm sure it's higher right now because I am pretty pissed. Network guy said, well, Hitler did kill himself. Hitler was a lot smarter than Trump is. That's what makes Trump dangerous, right? Trump won't know when to quit. You don't do social media at all? Oh God, I fucking envy you, brother. I fucking envy you. If you go back to Twitch, can you stop with the 3 a.m. streams? No guarantees, bro. But duly noted. No, if Trump was autistic, he'd have some fucking empathy. All right. I'm zoning right now. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you for listening to my Robbles. Please do your research. You know, if somebody's willing to listen, you know, try to get them interested in actually doing some real research and try to break them free from the cult. But if you can't, move on and try to focus on the people that can still be reached, because we really have we got a task cut out for ourselves. And even if Kamala does win, we're still going to have a huge fight, because Trump's going to try another January 6th. He's going to get a lot of people to put themselves in danger to be a diversion away from him. We know he doesn't value life. He never has, never will. Vote for Pedro. Oh my God. All right. Peace out, guys. I love you. Later. Actually, I should probably give you guys a blast. Here, hold on. I fired up the machine. We might as well go for it, right? Ready? Little smoke. I figured, hey, we burned the electrons to heat it up. We might as well use it, right? Legal Eagle is amazing. I fucking love Legal Eagle. That guy is bomb diggity. All right. You know what? I haven't even eaten breakfast. All I've got in my stomach is an energy drink, which I really didn't want to drink, but I didn't want my wife to have to wake up and make a coffee, and I was late for the live stream. So I had to drink an energy drink. But hey, you do what you got to do, right? Do what you got to do. M-blast me, Jerry? What does M-blast mean? Message me and tell me what M-blast means, and I'll let you know if I'll do